Live from twitch.tv and youtube.com, it's Vtuber Talk. Tonight's guest is Aishii Ai. And now, always groovy and never glooby, here's your host, Jay. Hello and welcome to Vtuber Talk. I'm your host, Jay, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. For those of you who haven't been here before, Vtuber Talk is designed after classic late-night talk shows. Everything here is live, casual, and the goal is to simply have fun conversations that'll entertain people who are already familiar with the guest while still being accessible for new fans. Please welcome my guest for this evening, Aishii Ai.
Hi, I'm Aishii Ai, a girl from the year 4000 who is here to entertain and make memories with all of you. Life can get crazy, so let loose with me and we'll all get through this together. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, and you're such a professional. I don't even need to tell you to go through your intro. You just have it ready on deck. This is great. This is going to be awesome. Well, welcome in, and welcome everybody from both Twitch and YouTube. See some folks hopping in both chats. Always good to see signs of life over there. And yeah, it is a Friday night. It is so nice to chat with you, Ai. We've been going back and forth for a little while, just trying to get our schedules to align. So I'm so happy that things finally worked out.
Me too. It's been a long time coming, and honestly, I'm just like so freaking appreciative for your patience because I've been wanting to get on your show for a little while, and there was definitely a point where I was like, okay, yeah. I've been meaning to get back to you, and then it was just like kind of silence for me for like, I don't know, a couple months.
Sort of other way around. It's like, I'm glad that I didn't become annoying to you because I was always just like, okay, I don't want to be a pest. I followed up with her and, I was popping in her stream one time just because, even if someone declines being on my show, if I like their stuff, I'm going to tune into their stream every so often.
Absolutely.
And that you're like, oh, I've been meaning to get back to you. And it's like, okay, so she has meaning to get back to you. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable reaching out again and poking. So I'm glad you at least mentioned that because otherwise I might have just sort of been like, oh, I think she changed her mind and I don't want to bother her.
Right.
And, that's totally fine. I totally respect it. There's cases like that, and I'm never going to begrudge someone for saying that they don't want to be on the show or changing their mind or just life gets busy. But, we made it, things worked out, and here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we are. Thanks so much for having me again. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
Yes, definitely. And you mentioned you had a pretty full day, actually, that you had work, you saw some family, and that you opened some Pokemon cards, which you do pretty frequently on your stream, but I didn't actually ask when you mentioned it to me. Did you open anything good today?
Oh man, I actually did. I opened up some of the new set, the Ascended Heroes, and let's see, the cards that I pulled. Let me actually look. So I got a couple cool ones. I got the full art Mega Halucha EX. It's this really cool freaking art that has it's kind of like a comic style, and it has Japanese onomatopoeia on it, and it's so cool.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, because I don't follow Pokemon TCG super actively. That I love Pokemon. Collected them a lot earlier on. It's one of the pieces that sort of fell off for me, and I'll glance over and be like, oh, that's the new set. That's cool.
Right.
And just from what you're mentioning here and me doing a quick little search as you're talking through it, I'm guessing that this is a set that's mostly focused on a lot of the Mega Evolutions that we saw in Legends ZA.
Yeah, it's that, and it's actually a special set. So it has a few cards that are reprinted, as well as a few cards that didn't have full art variants that now have really, really pretty art variants of them. And oh man, it's really exciting, honestly.
Yeah, I love TCGs as a whole, and it's been really interesting seeing the growth of, Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and the way they approach their own games differently, and the way they approach rarities, and obviously the market sets the price, and technically the companies are not allowed to ever acknowledge market price. That opens them up to a variety of legal issues that they just have to sort of put it out in the world and, nudge things in a very wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We understand that there's a market, but we can't acknowledge the market type of way. And one thing that I think is really cool about Pokemon is they have these wild variant arts that are just gorgeous, 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 and are sometimes extremely expensive on the secondary market. But that for all of those crazy, absurd, gorgeous, expensive arts, there are functionally identical, simple arts that are dirt cheap, that they have created a model essentially that puts a lot of the value of the packs really on these variants, and it's very top-heavy design, but that it has kept in terms of if you're trying to play a competitive game with these cards, if you're trying to enter into tournaments, that the actual barrier to entry for the game has remained astonishingly low, because you'll see some of these rares that are still competitive and they'll be $3, $4, $5, and the non-competitive rares are 10 cents. And that's really, really good for the game, because it means that if I'm not the collector, if I'm just trying to go to my local tournament and have a competitive deck, I can buy in and not be, investing in this $300, $500, $1,000 deck.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I really like that because like I've talked to lots of different people like in the TCG like community space in general, right? And so like talking to Magic players and talking to Yu-Gi-Oh players. Oh my god, they have it so rough. Like to get like a good deck, like some of them have to spend several $100s, and like in Pokemon like unless you want like the fanciest
if
versions.
you want to have your blinged out deck and a 4 of for the crazy thing, yes, you're going to be paying 4 digits for your deck, but functionally that is not necessary.
No, you can spend like 30 to like max $40 on like a viable meta deck. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it should be, because one thing I will say about Pokemon and a lot of these games, that at the end of the day, Pokemon's for kids. We are adults who grew up with Pokemon, and I love Pokemon, and I love that Pokemon is still accessible and can have that appeal and resonance with adults. But it is vitally important, in my opinion, that these games do not tailor their products to adults, that they need to keep things tailored toward the kids. One, just for longevity, because if you start paying too much attention to the older demographic, even if that older demographic is very real and has money, expendable income, if you cut out the kids, they're going to stop growing up with it. And then fast forward 10 years, you're not going to have that older demographic anymore, that it will on a delayed timeline. But that is how you choke out and can potentially just ruin a franchise.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think what's really cool that like Pokemon has done too is like, because they've been able to like realize that there's both like adults, children, and then like, kind of that middle gap of like, teenagers, who are going to become adults. They've had it to where like in like local tournaments, and then also like in like big tournaments, like regionals and stuff like that, they're separated between, you have like the different age brackets. So that way everyone can play and be competitive, but it's fair.
Yeah, and that, all right, once you enter into, I think it's called the Masters rank, which I think is 13 or 14 and up, that, you could have a 13, 14-year-old playing against a 20, 30-year-old, but that at least, you're going to have someone who is more mentally complete and able to compete on the level. And certainly those who are older, wiser, more experienced are going to have a bit of an edge, but it's not quite the same as, all right, they're sitting down against a 7-year-old. And and in the same sense, it's really cool seeing 2 really high-level 7-year-olds go at it. And you look at them and it's like, oh man, I would lose to both of these 7-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. So like a local tournament scene that I had actually, so they don't normally have like a lot of kids turn out there. And so in the local tournaments, like, so that they're not literally just playing the same like 2 or 3 kids, round after round after round.
I can imagine sometimes they have to mix the age brackets just out of necessity.
Right. Exactly, but that's just for like the play, like the points that they get, like like losing or whatever against like the Masters. It doesn't matter, like that doesn't count into like their placement in it. But just so that they're not just sitting around having nothing to do, and we get to play. Yeah, we still get to play, and I've played against some freaking kids. Oh my god, they're so good. I've like. out of all the kids that I've gone against, I have lost like 75% of my matches against them. Like they're fucking smart.
And that,
can I curse?
I completely forgot to mention, yes, you are absolutely allowed to curse. The rating of the show slides
great.
entirely based on the guest. I've had someone whose brand was Chaotic Swear Bunny. You are not going to be the most profane person I've ever had on this show.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But to your point, in some ways that really doesn't surprise me, because I feel like if you are a 7-year-old who is going out of their way and has asked their parents to drive them to a card shop, it's probably because you're really, really into it, that you're much less likely, I would imagine, to get entry-level 7, 8, 9-year-old players going to their local tournament, whereas you might have someone who's, 18, 20, whatever, just like, oh, it's been ages since I played Pokemon. I'll buy a starter or structure deck or whatever and try my hand at it because I'm an adult and can just do that and potentially get wiped. But no, if I see a younger kid at one of those tournaments, I'm scared.
They're scary. They're scary. Like they really know their decks in and out. And like, dude, kids' brains are sponges. So like, you give them something that they can learn from. And if they're like passionate about it, they are going to know every single way they can do each and every single one of their turns. And some of these kids too, like they're so meta brained that like they understand if you're playing a meta deck at all, like they're gonna know once you play a few cards, they already know what deck you're playing. They know every card in your deck.
And they'll know how to sideboard against you.
Yep. Even though Pokemon has no sideboards.
Oh,
Thank
that's right.
God. Thank God. But at the same time, dang it, because I could really use one.
Well, at the same time, so what sideboarding is just offhand from that. So have you played any other TCGs prior to Pokemon?
I have. I actually played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! At first when I was a bit younger. And so Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like my kind of start into it. And then I played just a teeny bit of Magic and I had fun with that, but it's too expensive for me. So
like we were
all
saying.
I play now is yeah, exactly. But like, honestly, what drew me to Pokemon was its simplicity, because I fell out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was too complex and kind of too annoying. And then Magic, I couldn't afford it, and I wasn't really interested in like continuing playing that. But Pokemon, it's so simple and nice, and there's no turn disruption. You can take your turn, and then the next person gets to have their turn. And I like being able to do things because it's so frustrating in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're like, oh, okay, I summon this. And you're like, but I have a trap card.
In Magic of just counterspell.
Yeah!
Because that's interesting. Your experience with TCGs is actually relatively similar to mine, but with one extra step, that I also started with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I collected Pokemon cards in the way early days, like base set early Gen 1. I was very much in the right place, in the right age demographic to be swept up in Pokemania. But that I collected the cards, I never really played the game. I played the TCG for Game Boy Color, but that was the extent of it. But got into very casual level Yu-Gi-Oh! Play, locals here and there. I would go to pre-releases. That was really the extent of it. But I sort of fell off near the end of the GX era, start of the 5D, so when the Exceed monsters came out, and I, similar to Pokemon, kept a glancing, just, that's what's going on in the game nowadays, even though I don't play it. But I don't care for the design as much. I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. If Yu-Gi-Oh's your game and you love it, I'm genuinely happy for you. It is not my style, and I wish they didn't have to use 0.05 font on so many of their cards.
I freaking know. Oh God. It's a lot. One thing that's been exciting about Yu-Gi-Oh! That I heard recently is they're bringing because I'm sure you're familiar, like, because you played for a while, like, about how they had, like, kind of an extensive ban list. Well, now they have a new format now to where each card is assigned a points. Yeah! And I think that's so fun!
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar, for a very long time, Yu-Gi-Oh's standard rotational games like Pokemon and Magic do their what's called standard rotation, and it's simply the most recent handful of sets. 4, 6, 8, it varies, but It's based on time of release, and then those cards then filter into what are known as eternal formats of just everything else. So once it's not in standard, there's a format that you can play and still have all the cards, but it ends up being much more competitive because the card pool is so much deeper. And instead of that, for years on end, what Yu-Gi-Oh would do is they would ban the most powerful cards that, were taking up the top decks very aggressively. And they would, on a schedule, update the ban list every 3 months or so. And that is how they curated their play. And I will say, that is a very fascinating way to do it on paper.
It is on paper.
It causes a fair amount of friction in practice.
Yeah. Once they had synchros in, I tried to play with synchros, and then they just added more, like they had the chain cards or whatever. I was like, screw this shit. I ain't touching it anymore.
Yeah,
This is way too much. This is way too much.
And when I filtered out of Yu-Gi-Oh, I was pretty much gonna be stopping TCGs, but a friend said you should play Magic. And I said, I'm just not interested in standard play, and I don't know if I want to pick another game.
Let me guess, you play Commander?
No.
Really?
I'll get to Commander in a moment because I have my own thoughts on Commander, but they said, let me tell you about a thing called Draft.
Oh, drafts are so fun!
Because I was familiar with Sealed from Yu-Gi-Oh! Pre-releases of, okay, you get a certain number of packs and then you just build your deck using that, but it was, okay, instead you get packs and you get to pick cards, and there's that active strategy and gameplay and knowledge expression in the act of drafting even before you get to the games, and that is how I play Magic. I am a limited player entirely. I'll play Sealed for pre-releases still, because that's just how pre-releases go, but past that, I just draft. If Pokemon had Draft, I would be in Pokemon. If any other TCG were to stand up viable formats for Draft and, have it be part of their card design, because Magic sets are designed to be draftable. That is part of how they approach it. No other game does that.
But see, here's the thing, Vol. This is my little nitpick, okay? So like, I love that Magic has that for like their, like booster boxes or whatever. But you know what comes with, a set amount of guaranteed odds? It also means that there are guaranteed limits. And I don't like that. I like my Gamba. So
that is entirely fair.
Yes. So I'm just like, no, like I want there to be a chance that I could just rip like the craziest freaking shit ever and it'd just be ridiculous. But also I accept that there's a chance that I could rip a box and get nothing. Just get jack shit. And that's okay. I live for it.
That is a very fair criticism, and that that's what's great about having so many different games, that people are able to find the game that appeals to them for the various reasons. And it's so cool because the designs are different, and historically the Pokemon TCG was actually designed by Wizards of the Coast, who makes Magic.
Yes, yeah.
It was handed off to the Pokemon Company after about 8-ish years, and they did, in my opinion, the very correct thing of not rebooting the entire game and restructuring all the rules. I think that would have been catastrophic.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But that it's cool to see and sort of think historically that the Pokemon Company, as it would become, basically sought out Wizards of the Coast for their game design because they had made Magic.
Right. It's cool. I like it.
Are there any cards in the new set that you're particularly looking for? That you mentioned that you got this Hawlucha EX, and I'm actually going to pull the image. It's a very cool looking card. But
it is.
I'm not sure if that was your chase card for the set or if you have something that you're hoping to find.
Yeah, I am hoping to find a few cards. I'm hoping to find the Iona Water Roll card, because I do have a deck that uses like the base like rarity of it, and so it would be really cool to be able to get a full rarity, most especially since so I have like basically 2 main decks, but really I just have 1 main deck, and rotation happens here in a couple months, and when rotation happens, that entire deck is bricked. I can't use literally everything that makes it the deck that it is, so I need a backup deck, because the thing that gets me to play regularly is having a deck that just makes me really happy to play and that really vibes with my brain. You know what I mean? And I have a deck where it's Iono Pokemon and a Pokemon called Raging Bolt. And I use that. And so the fact that there's now a full art version of the Waddle that I use in my deck, oh, I need it. I need it so bad. Also, there's other cards that are new, like that new Pokemon trainer that has, I forget her name, but she has similar hair. Oh, her name's Canary.
Oh, yeah.
The Canary card. Oh my god, it's so pretty and also would really benefit my deck too. So those are kind of like my biggest chases, I think, is the Canary card and like the full art Waddle card, but also the full art Belly Bolt is so Iono's Belly Bolt is so freaking cute. Oh my god.
Is the Waddle one that you mentioned one of the pictures that you sent me earlier?
I think so. I think it is. I could be incorrect,
60 HP, 10 plus attack.
I think so. Yes, that
so
one.
Promo, yeah. Okay, so I do have that one here. This one, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously,
that one.
So I do know different strategies and terminologies for Pokemon TCG. So what's the strategy of this Iono deck that just explain to me with full jargon. I will let you know if there's something I don't get.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is such a treat for me. Yes, I will absolutely nerd out about this. Okay, so this is how the deck works. So the deck works that basically your main attacker is going to be Raging Bolt. And Raging Bolt's attack is if it has, I believe it is Fighting and Electric Energy. If it has that on there, then you can discard any amount of energy from any of your Pokemon, any at all, that you have on the field, either active or on the bench. You discard energy, and for every energy you discard, it does 70 points of damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it is quite
very
powerful.
But that's energies you can only play one a turn unless you have, somebody else that's going to be cheating them out. So that is still a pretty steep cost, and it's something that you can't do repeatedly unless you have a way to set it up repeatedly. So I'm guessing there's some tech in here that enables that.
Yes, exactly. There is. So that's when Iono's Belly Bolt comes into play. Iono's Belly Bolt has an ability to where you can add any amount of electric energy from your hand to your Iono's Pokemon that is in play on the bench, or I believe, it's on the bench or the active position, and you can add as much as you want. So you just have to have a way to get a lot of energy in your hand, and if you get a lot of energy in your hand, then you can just place that crap on anything. And then one of the ways to help you get more energy as well is by utilizing that with your Kilowatt. Iono's Kilowatt has an ability that you can discard one electric energy off of that Pokemon to draw up to 5 cards in your hand. And that will help you get, first off, more energy, but also cards that help you get energy back from your discard.
Then you're running probably supporters, trainers, other things that are going to be able to either bring ones back from the discard pile or just draw you more. But even if it was just, all right, I'm getting rid of 1 electric energy to draw 5, that statistically you're probably going to draw 1 to 2 per 5 cards. So even if you're just cycling that, because you have the ability that you can play an unlimited one number of energy on your Iono's Pokemon, which are presumably most, if not all, the Pokemon in that deck, means that you're able to cycle through very quickly. If anything, the risk here becomes decking yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's how like actually both of my main decks have been. I've played a lot of Goldango, and it's the same thing with Goldango. Both Goldango and the Iono Raging Bolt deck, you go through your deck like crazy, and if you have a big deck, then your deck is not decking. Like, you should have a very small deck like pretty early on, and that's how you know you're doing it right. But you do have to be careful, because there are some stall decks where I have lost, and they just kind of like keep me just stuck there, and I deck myself out.
Yep, that's the counterplay.
Yep.
And you mentioned a Goldango. Is that the Goldango? It was the only card picture that you sent me, actually, that was a physical card, which I'm guessing you pulled that from a box.
So actually, so the one that I sent you is so it is one of the Goldangos that I play in my Goldango deck, but this one in particular is a very special one because this one is a Chinese exclusive. So China semi recently released a simplified Chinese cards for Pokemon, which kind of actually puts them into the running for them to be able to play in Worlds much easier than before. But to kind of get their country up to speed with Pokemon and all the current cards, they have released a ton of art exclusive cards. And that is one that they did that does not exist in Japanese. It does not exist in English. It does not exist in any other language except for the simplified Chinese. And it is so freaking cool.
Yeah, because now that I look at it, I'm realizing, oh yeah, that is simplified Chinese. That I just sort of reflexively, when I was putting these images in, was like, okay, I see, the different characters, and sort of reflexively was like, probably a Japanese one. But that's really cool to know the context there. And I can imagine they probably are releasing ones not only that have this alternate art, but ones that are probably particularly meta-relevant because, like you said, they're trying to make sure that they get up to speed and are able to get their hands on these viable cards for competitive purposes.
Yeah, they've been just like absolutely releasing sets like crazy in China, and it's actually really, really exciting because I mean, I always want more people to play Pokemon, so
yeah.
I'm really glad. But gosh dang, I love the Chinese cards. Man, they're printed in the same company or the same manufacturing company as the Japanese ones, so the quality is just like, oh man, it's next tier. It's so awesome. I love them.
If you are not someone who plays TCGs, that last comment might not make sense. There's only a certain number of factories in the world that are capable of printing TCG cards, and that's actually the manufacturing pinch point for a lot of games. When you see these things of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and it's like, oh man, new set came out and it's sold out everywhere, that is not actually these companies trying to create artificial scarcity.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, these companies benefit nothing from the secondary market. They are not even allowed to acknowledge the secondary market. They would rather flood these shelves and have as many things printed as possible because they're leaving their own profits on the table by selling out. That means that there is higher demand. They want to sell more boxes. They are not trying to run out like this. It is literally, there are not enough factories with enough production capacity to make enough cards for the demand, and that the quality that is required to be one of these factories is incredibly high, and it has to be very, very, very consistent because the risk of either counterfeiting or people being able to put different cards from different printers in their decks and then opens things up to cheating. That said, it's almost impossible to have a completely non-zero level of difference, and by and large, it's pretty much consensus that the Asian printers are just a little bit nicer than the ones that we get in the West, especially when it comes to foiling.
Yeah, absolutely. But the interesting thing is I own a few cards both like in Japanese and then also in English, and comparing the foiling differences, like it's interesting because I would say the foiling tends to be a little bit higher quality for like the Japan manufacturing company. However, in some ways, I think having a little less detail on the texturing makes the art pop more in some cards in the English ones, which is really interesting, actually.
I can agree with that because you can even see it on this Goldango a bit that it almost looks like it's speckled because it has this slight texturing about it, and on certain pieces it looks really good and pops. And I can also agree that on others it can almost wash out the art.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
The thing that the Japanese printers have that, at least in Magic, I'm not sure how much this extends to Pokemon, but the Western printers for Magic cards curl significantly more than the Japanese printed cards.
Oh, That's funny because, at least in my experience, I find that the Pokemon cards curl way more from the Japanese ones because they're
that's
thinner.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah, they're thinner than the English ones. The English ones are thicker, which is also a reason why as you kind of like mentioned earlier, you can't play in Pokemon, you cannot play with a mix of different languages in your deck. It has to all be the same language because if you have a Japanese card in your deck, it is thinner, and once you get used to handling those cards enough, you can tell the difference in your hand, whether you're holding an English card or a Japanese card.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's been a while since I've been able to get into like the nitty gritty of, card production with somebody.
Yes! Oh, it's so fun. I love talking about it. I nerd out about it like crazy. So I apologize to those of you who might not know anything about it, but also you're welcome because now you know more.
Yeah, you're getting an education tonight.
I could talk for an hour about centering. Anyway.
Oh my, well, we can get to that. But first, you would send me another Iono card. I had already put up the Watchful one for a little bit, but you also sent me one that just has a bunch of desserts on it. And this one is a trainer card, a supporter card, not the Watchful that the other one was. Does this have any specific competitive use, or is this just a really good art?
Yes. So the Iono card, it does have good competitive use, and actually here soon it's rotating out. It is a really good card because it is a card that allows you and your opponent, well, not allows, makes you and your opponent take your hand, shuffle it, and then put it to the bottom of your deck, and then you each draw cards equal to the amount of prize cards you have remaining in the game. And if you guys are unfamiliar with Pokemon and how it kind of works, basically you have 6 prize cards, and those are the cards that you get that are completely random and placed from the top of your deck face down. And you obtain them when you knock out Pokemon from your opponent's side. And once you take all your prize cards, and they go to your hand, by the way, then you win the game. And so that's basically how it works. Think of like if you're playing Pokemon and you knock out all their Pokemon and, obviously they have no more Pokemon left. Like think of it like that, except like, I guess in reverse.
Yeah, but that's how they keep the time limit on the game. And it's interesting because from a design perspective, some games will have catch-up mechanics where if you take damage that the player that took the damage will draw the card to help equalize. Whereas Pokemon, the design is a bit snowball-y. If you are knocking out your opponent's Pokemon, you are rewarded for it and now being given additional resources and potentially pulling farther and farther ahead. And this Iono trainer in particular just cranks that up even farther because now it's not just saying, okay, if I'm ahead, I've already gotten an extra card or 2 or 3 on you, which in a card game, card economy, how many more cards you have drawn than your opponent is a really big factor. But this is now punishing even more of if you're down and you have resources that you haven't used yet, things that you haven't been able to play, those go away and you're going to draw less and I'm going to draw even more. That if you're up, 4 or 5 prizes to 2 or 3, this can shut the door on someone.
It can, but it also can screw you over too because it kind of works in the reverse way because so you draw cards equal to how many cards you have left from your prize cards. So say if you're in the head,
I misread this.
Yeah.
This is a catch-up card. Sorry, I was thinking of the number that had been taken or like how many your opponent had left. So other way around. Okay, so no, this is if I'm behind, that I can stop the bleeding, hopefully refill some resources and make it so the opponent is going to slow down the assault a little bit.
Yes, and it's also one of the only ways to disrupt a hand. So like there's not really like any other cards, at least until recently, that have existed that make your opponent like straight up, get rid of their hand basically, because oftentimes when you're playing TCGs, like you wanna think as many turns ahead as you can. But when you have a certain amount of turns ahead, and in your head, a certain amount of turns in your head ahead, and then they disrupt your hand. Now you have to start with new cards, and it may not be that many, and you have to think of a new strategy on the fly.
Yep.
So it's a really, really good card competitively. However, despite the fact that I love Iono, I find I don't usually use it too much because it annoys me, because in my Goldango deck, getting hand disrupted is really, really frustrating and can screw me up really bad. So whenever there's an Iono in play, I'm like, no, stop.
Yeah, and that obviously, if you have a particularly good hand going, that you're disincentivized from playing this, and if you're already behind, this can become just a dead draw.
Yep. Yep.
Or sorry, if you're ahead, it can become a dead draw.
Yeah. I know what you meant.
Yeah. So in general, it's very on brand, of course, that the VTuber would be playing the VTuber deck.
Yeah.
I hope that we continue to get more VTuber characters in Pokemon, because we now have 2. But I hope that they diversify them from the electric type. It makes sense why you would start there.
I know!
It makes perfect sense. But when we got Canary in ZA, I was like, okay, she's sort of Iono 2.0, and at the very least, their designs are very different, and I appreciated that. But I was like, you made her electric again.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it'd be nice to see more variety and stuff like that.
Like I could see steel, because computers and technology and such.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Wait, you're so right. Yeah.
And then just, different ones from there over time. But at the very least, it is cool that, well, Iono's a streamer, not a VTuber. Canary, without going into too many spoilers, has VTuber elements about her. But that it's been neat to see those types of characters included in Pokemon, and obviously Iono's just a very fun design in general.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, so that card's good. I like it a lot. It's really cute, and it's also viable competitively as well. So
you mentioned you have 2 decks, Iono, and then what's the other?
The other one's my Goldango deck.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking that the Goldango one was from a past rotation for some reason. My bad.
Yeah. No. It's about to be rotated out here in a couple months, so I'm milking it for all it's worth right now.
Yeah. Now, you'd sent me a couple others that you really liked. I'm gonna go with there was this very, very pretty Sylveon card, and if memory serves, I've seen this art, and I think this one's very expensive.
Yes,
as many EVs are.
$100. True.
That, like, after Pikachu and Charizard cards, EV cards are the ones that are going to really command a very high price, basically, regardless of if they are competitively viable or not, but even more so if they are.
Absolutely. Freaking absolutely. Yeah, this one was also in a set. Granted, has been printed to hell, which I'm glad for. I'm really glad for. But it was one of the most popular sets called Prismatic Evolutions, and it is so pretty. I dang love this card. I hope I get it one day. I do not own it. It's just so pretty. I want it.
Yeah, it is very pretty. It's also weird to think that it has now been almost, I'd have to check the exact dates, but it's been a long time since we had a new evolution. Sylveon was the last one. That was Gen 5-ish, I think. We've almost gotten to the point where it has been as much time since the last evolution was introduced, since the start of Pokemon, that it's almost at this point half. I'm actually gonna check that.
That's crazy.
Sylveon was introduced in 2013.
Cool.
And since this is the 30th anniversary for 26, that's 10 years to 16, so that is 13 years ago, so just a little less than half, but we're getting there.
God, wow. They could do so many cool things with the other, like, types, too. I really hope that they do another evolution soon. That'd be so cool.
I understand why they put a pause on it. I think it was a good thing to make sure that it didn't spiral too much, and that to at least give themselves that break and sort of break that expectation. That I always said I was impressed that we got Dexit as late as we did. I was impressed that it took them until, what was it, Gen 7 or 8 to say, okay, we actually just can't cram 800 Pokemon into a game anymore. I figured that they would have done that closer to Gens 3, 4, 5, frankly. And it was always going to be painful whenever they hit that inevitability. And I think they smartly broke that precedent with Eevee earlier on. But I think it's also now been long enough that they can go back and, add one or two more.
Right, that'd be nice. There's so many like possibilities. Like even just thinking about it in my head, I can think of like some cool evolutions. I was just talking with some friends the other day about how it'd be cool to see like a steel type Eevee.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You also sent me this Sylveon, which has a little Eevee in the background. I really like it. Is the card actually printed this way, or was this extra framing done?
Yes.
That's really cool. They don't do that on many cards.
No, it was actually it was just for one particular set that I can't it's the Radiant collection. It was the Radiant collection, and it actually features a bunch of cards where it has like this very, very, very special foiling, like on a reverse hollow on the bottom part. It'll have like hearts and like sparkles and cute stuff, and then it has the really cute like little like ribbons and badges on the left side, and it's just precious.
And I love just, it's very fluffy. It has the different decor elements, and it even has, I love, Pokemon is always very fun, creative with their attacks, that you have Dress Up and Precious Ribbon, which obviously matches very well with Sylveon.
It does. I love it. It's so cool. That is another card that I am fiending for, but it's expensive, so I haven't been able to pull the plug on it yet.
Would you say that Sylveon is among your favorite Pokemon in general, or just one that you really like the card designs of?
I would say it's definitely in my top 5, absolutely.
What would you say, well, if you know your top 5 off the top of your head, I'll let you have all 5. If not, do you have a definitive number 1?
I don't have a definitive number 1 because I'm bad with favorites, but I can give you that top 5 because they are my favorites. They're all on the same pedestal. So that would be Pikachu. I know it's generic, but I love Pikachu, okay? Who can't? Pikachu. It would be also Pichu. I think Pichu's so cute.
Pichu does not get as much love as it deserves. That, yes, it's, sure, say what you want about it being predictable and with Pikachu, but, it's the mascot for a reason. It's very popular for a reason. That it is associated with so many inherent memories and sort of the weight of the franchise as a whole. And certainly they've given it a lot of love in terms of not just cards, but other merch throughout the years to help people fall in love with it even more. So it's very much been a cyclical thing of love for Pikachu, and you can't say it's not deserved.
True. That's what I'm saying. That's what. See, this guy gets it, guys. This guy gets it. Listen to him.
But Pichu sometimes, fades into the background a bit, and that Pichu is a different Pokemon. They are their own person. So glad to hear Pichu getting some love. What are the others?
Yes. The others are obviously Sylveon, right?
Sylveon, yes.
Yes. And then I really like Skitty. Skitty's so cute.
Okay. Did you grow up with Gen 3 in particular? Because I remember Skitty being a really iconic one of May's.
Yeah. I did. Skitty just leaves a very special place in my heart. Yeah, and then the 5th one would have to be probably Manaphy. I really like Manaphy.
Ooh. I feel like Manaphy is one of the mythical Pokemon that gets lost in the shuffle a lot because obviously it got a lot of love when it was initially released because it had its own movie, and then it basically got the spotlight for a game, and it was one of the Ranger games, so, not mainline or anything, but it got something there, but it didn't really get a ton in any of the mainline games, didn't get a ton of love in terms of merch or cards, and after that initial generation with Manaphy, and I forget which one it was. I think it was Gen 5?
Mm,
But afterwards, it sort of just faded in the background. I feel like it's one that
yeah.
it's certainly not even associated with the power level that a lot of people think of when they think of mythical Pokemon, that it's not up there with Mew and
True.
Celebi and others. That the only one I'd say that gets
Oh.
really as forgotten, arguably, would be Victini.
Oh, yeah, that's true. People don't think of Victini too much.
It's a very cute one. It's
Uh,
also the only
True.
legendary Pokemon that is capable of you're not able to breed more Manaphy, but that it can have an egg, and that's how you get Fione.
Oh. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh,
But I am curious then,
fascinating.
what brings Manaphy up to the top for you? With it being one that is, like we were saying, a little bit forgotten sometimes.
So I would say like Manaphy and Celebi are almost like tied, and it's just because of the movies. The movies like left such an impact on me, and I remember like having such an emotional reaction to those movies, and so I just want to take care of those little guys, and I want to make sure that they're safe and they're happy and they're not sad, and yeah, and there's only one of them like canonically or whatever, like in the world at that time or whatever. I don't know the exacts of them. And so I want to make sure that they're well taken care of.
Also interesting that you mentioned those two movies in particular, because I would not say that those two are necessarily the most iconic in terms of the many Pokemon movies. And obviously there's been a ton, and there are,
Yeah.
I would say there are more non-iconic Pokemon movies than iconic Pokemon movies at this point.
True.
And
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the Manaphy one is down there, and I feel like the Celebi one has a notoriety about it, because
Oh.
some folks just do not care for Forever, the movie.
What? Why not?
I think a lot of people don't like the. I've seen a lot of criticism of the 3D CG of the like the monster thing, and it also has the distinct disadvantage of coming after the third movie, which was really, really loved by a lot of folks. So I think that it winds up at a disadvantage in that way, because I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but I think it is a very
Right.
iconic one, and a lot of people forget that you get young Professor Oak in that one.
Oh. Man, I can't even remember if I can't remember the movies that well and which ones I have or haven't seen. I need to just sit down and rewatch all of them, to be honest.
Pokemon movies, I haven't seen too many of the recent ones, but I've
Me
gone
too.
back and rewatched some of the classics, and every so often we'll watch one of the more recent ones, and just they're Pokemon movies are Pokemon movies. And I think they always have a
True.
baseline level of they're always good. Some are going to be better than others.
Yeah.
That's inevitable. But I feel like, they're also designed as shonen anime movies where they are very separate from
True.
whatever ongoing plot is. So you are able to jump in,
Yes.
that it is a self-contained story, and you don't need to know
Mhm.
anything. So they're always
Yep.
very accessible in that way.
I agree. I freaking agree.
You also sent a couple of character cards. It was this really nice painterly one of Lily.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I freaking love that card. And let me tell you, some of my best friends, they've all pulled this card, but I haven't.
Hey, wait a second.
Yeah, right? I want it so bad. It's so fucking pretty.
Is this one that you want for competitive mechanics, or is it just the art's really good?
It's just because the art's really pretty and good. I love it. So pretty.
And obviously, Lily, a very iconic character that
True.
she's definitely one I felt was able to stand out in Sun and Moon. Obviously, that her character arc is, I don't know if tragic is necessarily the right word, but that poor girl gets some emotional trauma.
Fair. To be honest, I fell out of like Pokemon, especially like the franchise and like the games for a while. So I know quite a bit about her, but not like that. Not from like my own experiences. Like I've just heard so much about her and heard her tragic tale and stuff like that. I just think that she's really pretty.
Very fair. But you also bring up something. I was looking through some of your videos the other day, actually, and remember seeing that you had a video about Legends Arceus and that you'd mentioned, because and I'd actually forgotten until you mentioned again just now that I think you said after Gen 3 or so that you sort of fell out of the video games. And similar to me with the TCG, that it wasn't out of any distaste for Pokemon or the games or anything. It was just, it wasn't something that appealed to you at that point. So you go these several years and that you had then picked up Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, I believe it was.
Yes.
And what brought you back for that one in particular? Was it something for stream or specific appeal there?
It was because the last Pokemon game that I'd really played was Diamond and Pearl. So I was like, screw it. I'll pick up Shining Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Yeah, Brilliant Diamond. I'll pick up Brilliant Diamond. It'll be a throwback, right? And also I really liked the contests. The contests in that game were so freaking fun. And so I was like, screw it, I'll pick it up. Well, let me tell you, I did not like Shining Diamond at all. It was a little bit nostalgic, but they changed the freaking contests entirely and they were no longer fun. And I got myself in a bit of a, I don't know, I guess a little bit of a rut where I did not have good enough Pokemon to beat the Elite Four at the end. And I would have had to do a lot of grinding.
There's this absurd difficulty spike in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl that doesn't exist in the other games, that it almost feels like there was a designer, like either someone on the team got swapped or a memo didn't make it all the way down the food chain to say, hey, all right, if you want to design a game that has tougher battles, fine, that's one thing. But that they have the pre-Elite Four be standard difficulty Pokemon, which is to say, not too difficult. And then you get to the Elite Four, and suddenly everybody has not just stronger teams in terms of Pokemon, but they went all in with nature's held items like EVs and IVs, which we're not talking the Pokemon EV, the effort value, the inherited value. This is the crunchy number, like stat competitive level stuff. They gave those trainers competitive level teams, and Cynthia in particular, they cranked up and said, well, she is arguably the most iconic champion of all time, known for being this terror. We have to make her live up to that. And a lot of people were caught off guard that you were not the only one I know of who was playing and having a good time and then walks in and sort of just hits a brick wall.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, and then I was kind of like, man, I was like playing with, with some friends, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to go back and you're gonna have to you're gonna have to grind. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That sucks. So I never, so I was like, man, I probably won't pick that up again. But then that's when Legends Arceus came out, and I was like, I had no intention of buying it, but I was like, it was just 2 days after the game had come out, and I kept seeing like really hilarious clips on my Twitter feed on it, and I was like, okay, this looks crazy. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go buy it. I immediately went and bought it, and I was like, I'll just try it. I'll just try it, and oh my god, I fell in love.
Legends Arceus is probably my favorite Pokemon game of the past decade.
Based. Good taste.
It's so good. I really enjoyed ZA, and I still have to play the post game. I've hit the credits on ZA, but I know there's more post game. I'm probably not going to do the DLC, but ZA was really good. ZA was not bad at all. It was very different, and I think that was deliberate, and I think that's fine. I want them to experiment with their with the Legends games. I want the Legends games to become a long-standing side series because Pokemon in the past has been very hesitant to let any side series have a long-term presence. It snap, one and done, and then, you know, they bring it back 20 years later. The mystery dungeons are arguably the ones that have had the longest run, and they stopped that after 4 or so.
Which is sad.
One-offs for Puzzle League, Troze, so many different ones that if it's not a mobile game and it's not a mainline, you know, the Ranger games, there was 2 of them. I'm hoping that they will allow themselves to let Legends be a longer-running one by having them be so vastly different from entry to entry and sort of self-justifying that as them not falling into a specific pattern, which I do like because you know, if they had kept going with Mystery Dungeon forever, we might not have gotten New Snap. If they had kept Snap going forever, we might not have gotten all the other ones that it has left them with bandwidth. But I'd love to see if we can get, like, basically a Pokemon game every year of rotate, mainline, Legends, other, repeat. I'd like it even more if we could do 4-year rotations, but fine. You know, I feel like that's how you do it. That's how you space it out. Give me one Legends game every 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like keep experimenting and keep doing new things. Cause like the thing that kind of turned me off a little bit to Pokemon, and one of the reasons why I just like didn't play more games is like it just felt so samey. It felt so samey. And I'm like, I don't really want to like play the same game, but with a different like outfit on. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't really want to keep doing that. Like I like it and I enjoy it, but I'm like, I'm kind of bored of it. And so I just didn't touch it for the longest time. So the fact that like Arceus was like so different, and then also like as I'm sure like you saw in my video where I talked about it, like it made me feel like I was a real Pokemon trainer for the first time ever. I felt like I wasn't playing a game.
Pokemon has ever been, and I think Arceus did a better job of that than ZA. I respect the concept and just the sheer, all right, let's commit to a bit because we're trying to do things different, of everything encapsulated within a city for ZA.
Right.
I very much preferred I get to explore this entire region in a way that is vastly different than the region I knew in the mainline games. I don't care if they necessarily, you know, go to the future with one or more stuff in the past or just something else, but being able to see the vastness. And a lot of people complained saying, oh, there's too much empty space, whereas I saw that as, no, that's the point. This is an undeveloped land. This is wilderness. I want to feel just the vastness and, to an extent, the emptiness of just, there isn't much here, because there's a lot of places on Earth where it's just empty.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like, I don't know, like I feel like that vastness like feels it added to the experience of like in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you're like, you start on the ground, like all you can do is you can just walk around, you can run around, okay, but now you can run around faster and you can jump, you know, okay, now now I thought that's all that we could do, but no, now you know you can swim. You can swim around. You can get to all these other places. Some places that were completely inaccessible because you had no way of getting there. You needed to swim, and suddenly, oh shoot, I can go to this far off place that I didn't even know was there. But then it doesn't stop there. No, now you can climb up. I didn't even know I could climb up those mountains. I didn't know that there were things all the way up there. There's a whole other area up there that I had no idea I could get access to. Like, holy crap. And then it just keeps going, you know, from flying as well. Like, I felt like my world was already huge and massive and that there were these empty spaces, but not because it did, you know, it felt empty, but because I was like, wow, there's just vastness there, you know, like, wow, there really is just like anything and also nothing. But then the world just kept getting bigger and I just kept getting smaller, and it was so awesome. It felt like a breathing, living world.
And that's actually something I hadn't thought about until I saw your video of the way that they use the y-axis as their way of expanding the world. Because when you first go into these different, they break the Sinnoh region into different chunks, and when you go in, you're able to, in theory, access all of it, that I can go from one end of the map to another. But like you said, all right, there's water areas and there's these cliffs, and you can just sort of assume, okay, well, I'm not able to pass these cliffs. This is, just an impassable area, but gosh, there's so much other space going on here. But then you unlock those things of, oh, I can not only swim, and it's not just, all right, now I'm encountering water Pokemon. Oh, there's a side way in past those cliffs that I didn't know existed. Or, oh, I can now climb up these cliffs, and there's a crater here with this huge area I didn't know. And once you get flying, not only is it, okay, I'm able to travel much faster, which feels a lot better, but then you're able to spot and see. It was like, wait a minute, I've not been there. What is that down there? And then just like dive in and sort of surgically explore those last pockets that you haven't seen before.
God, yes. It's awesome. It's so freaking awesome.
And Lumiose was really good in ZA, and that it was a deliberate stark contrast of, instead of this vastness, emptiness, there is stuff everywhere constantly, that they made it feel like a big bustling city, and it was a total success there. It would have been bad if they had made it feel like a vast and empty city, because that's not how cities are.
Yeah.
But from a player exploration standpoint, Lumiose became too homogenous. Even in the late game, I found myself always going to the map, because if I'm just walking down one of those streets, I can't tell the difference from another. And to be fair, in a lot of cities, like you go to New York City, unless you live there and you know those streets, they're going to look the same. That you're going to need a map.
True.
And so I don't begrudge the design, but I will say that for me as a player, I much more enjoyed the variety from Legends Arceus.
That's fair. I haven't touched ZA yet because I don't want to play it on Switch. I want to play it on Switch too. And I'm fundraising for it right now. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting on playing it, but I am scared. I am scared to try it because I know I'm biased, man. I know I'm biased towards Legends Arceus.
Imagining Legends Arceus, just let it be its own thing. And like I said, it doesn't quite reach those heights for me, but that is also to say Arceus reached such heights for me that I knew that it was going to be tough for anything to match it.
But see, the thing is, though, for me at least, when I went from Legends Arceus and then they came out with, I'm so sorry, but the crap shoot that was Scarlet Violet, dude, I was so offended. I was so offended playing Scarlet Violet. I was like, what is this crap? I was so I'm scared to play ZA because I don't want to shit on it like I did with Scarlet Violet, because it's probably fine. It's probably a fine game, but I'm scared I'm gonna hate it like I did Scarlet Violet, and then I'll be really sad. I don't want to hate it.
So I played on Switch 2, and on Switch 2, it performs amazingly. And from what I've heard, I don't know many who've played it on Switch 1 for the reason that you've been waiting, because people just know it's going to perform better on 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say the combat system in ZA, far and away, not even close, better than Legends Arceus. And such a breath of fresh air for the franchise as a whole, because Legends Arceus has these, different subtleties in terms of the agile and strong style moves, which does create different strategy and, in and of itself, a very different combat experience than the mainline games.
Yes.
But the real-time, just movement of everything and positioning and knowing the cooldown times and everything. It is the closest thing to a quote unquote real Pokemon battle as we've ever had. That this is what you go and watch the anime, watch the movies. This makes me feel like that more than anything else. And if you were to give me Legends Arceus, all of the non-combat gameplay, the world, the characters, everything else, but then put in the combat, of Legends ZA, and now we have my ideal Pokemon game.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit less scared. Okay.
Yeah. And that I hope they will continue to go back and do things one way or another with Legends, that they've clearly said, okay, it's not just going to be going into the past.
Right.
And I think they could have done that, and it would have still been good. But
yes, absolutely.
Like, they could have done, Legends Johto with Celebi very easily. Literally the time travel Pokemon. It was right there for them if they wanted to take that low-hanging fruit.
So true. I still hope they do it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing of just like, okay, so I think it's good that they have created the precedent where it's not all traveling to the past. I still would like to see them travel to the past at least once or twice more, because I think there's a lot of fun things to explore there. And that whether it's Celebi or, give me Legends Mew, I want to see old Kanto.
True. Open world Kanto.
That feels like the logical conclusion. They have to do it for Kanto eventually.
Right. I feel like it. Like, it's too perfect.
But we will see. But definitely, I don't think you're wrong for waiting to play on Switch 2. And that, like I said, go in with different expectations, but it is still a very, very good game. And very, very different, certainly, from the main lines.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there a side series other than Legends that you're particularly fond of, that whether it's ones that you played way back when or ones that you just really like the concept of?
I thought Mystery Dungeon was really freaking cool. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I played only a little bit of it. I don't think I ever finished it. I think I learned maybe an ending of one. I can't even remember it now though, but I thought that was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, they were fun, definitely up there in terms of stories. But also wrapping back to Legends and just talking about how good Arceus is. Oh, the story in Arceus is really good. And I tried to find the VODs. You did not finish. Did you finish Arceus on stream?
So I didn't finish it on stream yet, because the ones that I've been playing on stream is my second playthrough of it. So my first playthrough I just did on my own time, and I 100%ed, well, kind of 100%ed. I 100%ed the Pokedex, if we're not counting other Pokemon that you get from literally owning other Pokemon games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to the post game boss. And then Arceus itself.
Exactly. And I finished every single quest there was for me to do. I played the fuck out of that because I loved it so much. But yeah, I haven't finished it again yet. I'd still like to. I guess there's just other games that I've never played before that I've been prioritizing a little bit.
I totally get that.
But I did not feel upset to erase my save data and start fresh at all. I was excited to play it all the way from the beginning again because I love it so much.
And I will say, I think that the post-game boss is the most cinematic battle sequence in the franchise.
Oh yes! Oh my god, it's awesome.
Just the lead up to it and your slow ascent of the mountain to you start getting these unsettling signs on the way of just something's not right. I'm starting to realize I don't know if I trust this person. And so it's not a huge surprise of, okay, this person has it out for me. But the extent to it and the realization of them saying, I had this thing do that. And it's oh, wait, you were the cause of that? It's not just, oh, you kind of have it out for me because one thing or another. It's no, you're the source of gestures broadly. And then the outfit, and then the music.
True. But I will say the hair, come on, man. That's some dorky ass freaking hair. They should have kept it from before.
It kind of was. I sort of justify it mentally as they are so unhinged and so obsessed with this thing that they're literally cosplaying it.
I mean, that's true. But also, I think that they're really fucking hot I'm like obsessed with them, and
That's
so they
fair.
look
That no,
significantly less
it
hot.
takes a very attractive character and just makes like, okay, so you're not this, kind of cool, semi-brooding, very calm, smart, calculating character.
Just
You're this
crazy
big dork,
guy.
and not in a good way.
Exactly. I was like, ugh, I got the ick. I was like, no, you ruined it.
But in a way, maybe that's success of, taking this character that you really did like, and
True.
just, would it have been less if it was like, oh, dang, you betrayed me, but you're still really hot. That maybe making him look like deliberately not hot and making him look not great helps drive that point home in the moment.
I guess that's true because I didn't feel bad having to beat them up because I was like, oh well, like
Yeah, no, it's just
you're
all the
you're
illusions
fucking
are
broke
broken.
now. True. I'll just go back to the arms of Adamant instead.
Yep.
I love that guy as well.
They gave him and why am I forgetting their name? It's one of the
Irida?
so no. It's one of the Elite Four from Scarlet Violet that they gave for Pokemon Masters. That they had Friend Day for Valentine's Day, alternate outfits. I'm blanking on what it was, but I remember seeing people posting being like, there's no heterosexual explanation for this.
Right. Oh my god, yes. I love it.
But yes, go play Legends Arceus, folks. It's really, really, really good.
Please, if you guys are not a fan of Pokemon and you haven't played any Pokemon game, you're like, hey, whatever, Pokemon's whatever. Like, I haven't really played Pokemon. I haven't played Pokemon in years. I haven't played Pokemon since I was literally 8 years old. Well, pick up Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's gonna make your little freaking Pokemon fan service heart flutter. It's gonna be awesome. Please play it.
Even on Switch 1, it still performed well. That at a distance, a far distance, the frame rate for Pokemon is low. But by the time you walk to them, get to them, everything's fine.
Yes, it's great. It's great.
Really, the extent of performance and graphics issues that you could possibly say about the game.
Exactly, that's it. And also, I'm just gonna say, if you like Scarlet Violet despite its performance issues, then you are going to love Arceus because its performance issues are way better than Scarlet Violet by a landslide.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know left to our own devices, we could just spend the entire show talking about Pokemon. At the very least, I know that we talked about a lot of different facets of Pokemon. And that was deliberate and good.
True.
True. I'm going to railroad us a little bit to some other things, but I'll do it via Pokemon because you know who's gone from being a fan of Pokemon to composing for Pokemon, and I believe the first non-Japanese composer for a Pokemon track. Not that there had been, like, Ed Sheeran had performed for a Pokemon credit song before, but had not composed a BGM piece, and that is Toby Fox.
Yeah, Toby Fox, my man.
We have been listening to a Deltarune playlist going on in the background for those who are watching. And just for him, what a cool thing, because apparently, he'd been invited to something because the composer, I'm blanking on his name, gonna hit me later, but that he had been invited out to Pokemon headquarters and was apparently having a meal with them and sort of said in passing that he wanted to do a track at one point, just as sort of an aspirational thing of who wouldn't want to, and that apparently on the spot they were like, okay, what are you thinking? And
amazing.
Then suddenly he has the Battle Tower theme in one, and the Overworld theme, and the Terra Raid theme. Like, you could argue he was given the most, like, the two most important pieces in Scarlet Violet.
Yep, definitely the most iconic.
Yeah. And that, I always say, I think Toby Fox is one of the best composers of our generation, but that he
Oh
is
my God.
outright the best melody writer of our generation.
Oh my God, yeah, and always challenging like time signatures and shit. Like, it's so cool.
And anything he writes is an earworm. That's what's so impressive. That's why I say that he's the best melody writer, because whether it's Megalovania or, Hammers of Justice or anything, that you hear those things for 2-3 minutes and suddenly it's stuck in your head.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. Freaking facts. I love his music so much. I love everything that he does, to be honest.
And I know you played through Deltarune recently, and that it has been something that your Discord status has been definitely thinking about Deltarune right now for probably the past month.
It's been that past, like, 3 months. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Obviously, this is
just so that I can post about it.
This is obviously a very big question, but I guess what about Deltarune really appealed to you? Is it that what drew you in for all of it?
Man, I feel like I don't have like a defined answer, like a short answer for it. So I'll have to try and think of a way to describe it in as few words as possible.
I
but
mean,
basically,
I don't mind you going on a rant.
Oh my God, dude.
It's a
don't
talk
even
show.
get me
Please
started.
talk.
That's true. I'm very good at talking. Yapping is my specialty. I would say it's a mixture of things. So like, one, I liked Undertale a lot, but one of the things that I felt like I didn't get from Undertale is I felt like I didn't get to know the characters as well as I wanted to. I felt like because I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't know, if I can, I'd like to get to know the characters as much as possible, but I don't want to be forced to get to know them. Like, I want to optionally basically be able to get to know them and like really just like dive into them. And I feel like in Undertale, like, we got to know them like fairly well, but I felt like there wasn't enough downtime to really enjoy them. And so when I played Deltarune, not only did I feel like I was getting to know the characters that well, but they were also just so godly written that like I couldn't help but just fall in love with them. So it's like, one, it's like the character writing and the ability to really spend so much time with them, but also I feel like part of it is also a personal journey of mine. And like, I feel like when I played Deltarune, it came at the perfect time in my life where I needed it. And so like, just like some of the things that the characters were talking about and experiencing and feeling, I feel like I've experienced in my life, both in modern day and also in my past and stuff. And so like, I feel like it was just, there's so many beautiful things about it that was like encapsulated in a way that I haven't seen done before, that really just, I don't know, just, it really made me feel things that I didn't think I could feel. And it was beautiful being able to see that, and feel that.
You talk about the characters, and what's really fascinating about the game is the characters at first glance, at least when I was playing through, struck me as incredibly archetypical. You had the annoying nerd, you had the bully, and that a lot of these things felt predictable. And I can only assume that's the point, because what happens is, all right, you have these starting archetypes, but it's so subtle. There's not a particular moment where, oh, everything changes and now we've broken from convention with these archetypes. But very quickly, there's one or two things here or there that gives them more depth, and then there's a couple more, and that they stack up so quickly, and it feels like you blink, and when did these archetypes become very deep characters?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Like living, breathing characters. It's rare when I feel like a fictional character that isn't my own character feels real. Like, I have a lot of OCs that like they are like living, breathing characters that exist. Granted, just in my head, but they exist, and they exist more and more as I put them more on paper. But it's really hard for someone else to create a character and for me to feel like they're living and breathing. And so the fact that he was able to do that in just a short amount of time, really. I mean, like
that's
the
what I was about to
playtime
say as
on-
well.
Yeah.
Is
Just 4 chapters.
Sometimes you see, characters start out, and all characters have to start somewhere, and that whether it's the first episode, chapter, movie, whatnot, piece of media, that you will start with base characteristics, and you as a viewer will end up making certain assumptions assigned to them, and that naturally the longer something goes on, the more depth can be added, and by the time you have many books or movies or episodes, that's when you get some of the most iconic characters of all time. One from Avatar: The Last Airbender, or Star Trek, or other things where you can get these really deep characters that are able to go through arcs. But it takes time. And by all rights, the chapters of Deltarune are not long. You can play through the entirety of all 4 currently available chapters probably in, I'd say, 3-4 hours per chapter, if that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're like not
if you're not going
reading
for a
out
quirky
loud.
route.
Right. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not long. It's really not, and yet it's so well written. I don't know, man. It's just so well written.
And the way that they can really make you care about these side characters, that you usually get 1 per chapter or so. Sometimes it's the antagonist, sometimes it's this other one that will come in, and that they're all so fun and they're all so distinct.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and even though I don't think she'd count as a side character, to be honest, when I was first playing, like, I didn't think that I'd like Noelle. I thought the Noelle should be like, I don't know. I was just like, yeah, whatever. I was just like this chick, like, like whatever. But she grew on me so fast. Like, I did not think that I was going to like her very much. I did not think I was going to fall in love with her as much as I did. But holy shit, she grew on me so extremely quickly. Except Birdley. Fuck Birdley.
No, that's the thing. But that's also what makes him so well written, that he is such a hateable character. Like, he is up there in terms of fictional characters that universally just like, I hate that guy. And it takes good writing to do that.
You're so actually right. Because it's not like he's a character that's like, oh yeah, it's just like that cringy character. No, I hate that guy. I scream about that guy all the fucking time. I hate Birdley.
When I was playing, I played with some friends, and the constant thing, the line that I had was just, shut up, Birdley. Anytime he was talking.
Yep.
And the fact that they're able to evoke that type of visceral response, that it takes a lot to make a hateable character that well, just still good in their own way. And certainly in certain paths, Noelle and Birdley in particular can go through things that make you feel emotions about them that are very different from where they normally are. There is a time where you feel a moment of pity for Birdley, which I didn't think was possible, and an amount of fear of Noelle, which I didn't think was possible, and an amount of just...
I know, right?
like, not just fear, but also certainly pity in a different way for Noelle.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, and like the thing too about like, in different routes, I was really impressed because while I know that in Undertale there is the genocide route that you can do, and I know that, or at least from what I've heard, like Toby Fox wasn't intending on that being like a legitimate route, right?
Yeah, it's a gimmick route.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and so because of that, when I was playing it, I like, aside from tutorial, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like a bad guy doing it. I was like, oh, this is just a game. And I know,
you're going through
like,
the motions.
there's certain... Yeah, exactly. Going through the motions. I don't feel bad. I didn't feel like I knew the characters well enough to actually care about any sort of like, impact I was making on them for this game. I was playing the game for the game. However, I care about the characters in Deltarune. I care a lot. And so for any of my actions to cause any sort of like negative reaction out of anybody. Like, it really does fucking break my fucking heart. And that, I was so impressed because I was like, yeah, I don't know, like, Toby Fox didn't do such a good job with making me, you know, feel things with, like, the genocide route. I don't know, like, if he could, you know, do, to be honest, do a good enough job. But holy shit, not only did he do a good enough job, but he excelled at it. I am incredibly impressed.
Yeah. And even for the boss characters, the ones that you are supposed to be going out of your way to probably dislike. I don't dislike any of the bosses nearly as much as I dislike Mercury. It's not even close.
Right.
If anything, all of the bosses are just, they're so fun and iconic and lovable in their own way that I found myself, you know, I'm not feeling much emotional attachment to random mob number one, you know, even when I'm recruiting them, that you don't necessarily create emotional attachments to those because they're just mobs. Sure. But that for all those chapter end bosses, like, I don't know if I would say I feel bad about having to defeat them, but I am sad that my time with them ends.
I know. Like, I wish I could have spent more time with Queen. I wish I could have like spent more time with like even like the king in the first chapter that you battle. Like, dude, like, I wish, like, man, he's so cute. Like, I wish that we could have gotten to know him better. Like, you know, and the secret bosses even, I wish that I kind of wish that we would have been able to have more time with them, but at the same time, I don't, because their era of mystery, their era of mystery makes me like so curious, and so I'm kind of glad that we don't at the same time.
And depending on what you do with them, that you don't need to outright kill all of the bosses. That depending on what route you take, you can see them again in later chapters and visit them, and you'll only have a conversation or two, but you get little bits and pieces. And I'm going to make what I think is not a absurd assumption in that they're gonna play some role in the end game, where
that'd be so cool.
You know, pretty classic shonen enemies to friends type of thing of they're all gonna come back and help you save the world at the end of the day, and that we're not necessarily going to get, like you were saying, these deep conversations, that they will still have this air of mystery about them, but that we'll learn a bit more as we go, and that we will still get to have them for a couple of lines here and there.
Yes, that would be nice. And
just the sheer mystery and, I guess, total confidence that people have in Toby Fox, very much earned, of just like, I don't know what he's going to do, but I know it's going to be good. And I know that that, like, one, I'm so happy for him in so many ways. You know, being able to work with Pokemon, doing all these things, and having such vast success as an independent developer. But obviously with success comes expectations, to the point where he literally designed a boss that is the manifestation of the stress that he had as a creator, which I think is super meta and delightful, and a good reminder to players of, hey, there's a person making this game and they have their own anxieties and insecurities and external pressure. Be nice, be gentle.
For real. Yes. But how do you feel about Woody Theory perhaps being canon with his latest tweet?
Oh, yeah, I saw that yesterday. So for those who aren't familiar, yesterday, the first trailer for Toy Story 5 was released. And, you know, I have not actually watched the trailer, but...
I haven't either.
But across the timeline, you have a quote retweet from Toby Fox, which as of time of broadcast, 22 hours ago, 11 million impressions. This is on Toby's tweet. The discussing film tweet, which has the trailer itself, has 25 million. So this is almost half, but also just the sheer fact of 11 million impressions in a day from this guy who just tweets, super excited this is finally announced. Can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store for you this time. And damn it, Toby Fox, you can't just do that. You can't just tweet that with no context, no follow-up. He did, in fact, just do that with no context and no follow-up.
It's so fucking funny. But you know what I hope? You know what I hope it is? I hope it's a troll.
Sorry, say again?
I hope it's a troll. I hope it's literally him just saying shit and there's nothing at all.
My guess, which I heard from a friend and I think is the most rational explanation, is that is him teasing the release date of Chapter 5. Because it is Toy Story 5. It's for June. We do know that Chapter 5 will be released sometime this year. That at the end of Chapter 4, it says Chapter 5 will be in 2026. So we know it'll be this calendar year. There has been no specific date stated. I could see him seeing this and being like, oh, wait a minute, that's my release date. Fine, you know what, I'm gonna make a little tweet because I can, I'm Toby Fox. And the 5 just being sort of an extra cherry on top. I do not think that Toby Fox has any involvement or contribution to Toy Story 5.
I don't think so either. It
doesn't fit. Even for having been involved with Pokemon, I don't see the through line to Toy Story, to Pixar, especially when the music of Toy Story is so locked into Randy Newman. It doesn't make sense that maybe, like, all right, would he have like some cameo voice appearance? I don't see the through line. I don't see how that happens. I've heard crazier. If it happens, I'll say, okay, Toby Fox has already done enough absurd things in his lifetime where, maybe there's just a really big Undertale fan at Pixar who was like, hey, if we get this guy in to do a 2-line cameo, he'll post about it and it will go viral more than any marketing campaign we could ever formulate.
That's actually true. Wait, you're so right, though.
So maybe there's a fan on the inside, but if I had to bet money today, I do not think that Toby Fox has anything in Toy Story 5, but that there might be some, if not the release date of Deltarune Chapter 5, Toby is usually pretty deliberate and is very good at his cryptic things. So
he never does anything unless there's some sort of reason for it.
Whether it's dialogue, characters' choices, everything he does is calculated.
Okay, so here's one thing. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
Did you notice? I want to know. I don't know if anyone's theorizing yet. Why is there that one pixel on the boss fights? There's one stray pixel on the boss fights that's just there. It's on every single boss fight stage, and it's just one pixel. Why is that pixel there? It's been there, and it was there like when I played it. It wasn't like an old thing. Why is it there? There's no reason. He never does stuff for no reason.
One, I never actually noticed this missing pixel. So I'm now having to pull from a couple things. And I will say, I have not played through every route of Deltarune.
It's okay. It's on the regular. It's just on the regular.
Yeah, and that's the thing of, but I was actually reading the Deltarune wiki just last night, looking at details regarding one of the routes that I have not played all the way through. So this is going to be a spoiler warning for folks. And are you all right with me getting into some spoiler territory here, at least for you? Because others can mute, you cannot.
Yes. Yes. Trust me. I've looked up almost everything there is to know, and I've played Deltarune a total of 3 times all the way through, so.
Okay, because this is going to be discussing the weird route. The route that I alluded to where things happen with Noelle and Birdley.
So if you guys haven't played it and you guys don't know it, then maybe come back in like 5, 10 minutes.
I'll send something in both of the chats when spoiler warning is lifted. But I'd been reading through the later parts of the weird route, which is the one where you have Noelle learn was Snowgrave, and put Berdly in a coma.
Yes.
And chapter 2, 3, the memory serves that there was a mention of, in one of the things of the Weird Route, that when you go to Noelle's house, that you encounter the soul, and that you bash the soul, and that a single pixel, it says a single pixel sort of floats out and says, "Thank you." And then at the end of chapter 4, you see this pixel. Okay, here it is. Dark World differences. When Rousey gives Crips the option to thank Susie, she writes on sheet music. If the player has said no and things of Noelle, screen fades to black and a single red pixel appears in the center. The pixel slowly moves on its own for a few seconds. A text box slowly types out "thank you" with Noelle's voice bite, followed by a red flash and Susie waking Chris up. And there is another one where in the chapter's ending, Chris is no longer hearing Susie's voice outside the window. Instead, they receive a call from Carol, confirming their attendance to the festival and remarking on how eager Noelle is to see them. The screen goes dark and a small red square appears, bigger than the single pixel that appeared in the optional scene Dark Sanctuary. I wonder if the missing pixel could be related to that pixel.
Maybe.
But at the same time, the fact that the pixel has grown kind of debunks my theory.
Right. Because, let me see if I can show you. Let's see. Because it's only in the... Because it's... Oh, here we go. So, it's this single pixel that shows up, but only in... It is a black pixel, and it only shows up in the area in which the boss fight happens. And the same thing happens in chapter 2 as well. In the exact same place in chapter 2, there's a single pixel. Yeah, here's but it's not present in 3 or 4, and it wasn't taken out in any patches either.
Okay, that's interesting, because the fact that it's not in 3 or 4 also upends things a lot. Maybe it was just a bug that wasn't caught because 1 and 2 were 1 and 2 released together. I forget. No, they weren't.
They weren't.
3 and 4 were released together. 1 and 2 were not.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
But like we were saying, Toby very rarely does things by accident, and that certainly he has been known to put in very small, subtle, outright obtuse things into his games.
Right.
The fact that it's not in 3 or 4 is strange, though, because if it was in all of them, I'd say, okay, my guess is somehow, some way, you will obtain that pixel either in the end game and that it has something in replays, or that maybe it represents a completion or something that was missed.
Right.
But
yeah,
I'm not sure. Do you have a particular theory for the pixel?
I don't at all, but I'm so I really wonder, whenever I think about there has to be a reason for something, I think about that pixel because it was something I noticed my first time playing it, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is there a fucking
wait, no, is my screen broken? No, I go to another screen, it's fine, so it's in the game.
Yeah. And then when I saw in chapter 2, I was like, hey, wait a minute, why is it?
Yeah, just the Wojak friend was like, wait, oh.
Yeah.
Just the fact that a game can make you think about a missing pixel and lead to legitimate theorizing of what does it mean is a testament to how deep these games are and how much people want to interact with them more. And I don't even really bother theorizing where the game is going to go, what's going to end, that I'm here for the ride. But one thing that gave me an amount of pause is, this is actually very appropriate that we have Hammers of Justice playing right now, is in that fight with one of my favorite characters that we've had so far, Gerson Boom. Just, I
love him.
And the fact that just like, walks in, music stops, he gets to interrupt everything, just like, oh, you're fighting? We can recruit him? I'll just recruit them there. Just like this. I love the absurdly powerful, mysterious old man archetype. It's a very fun one.
Yes, it is a very fun one.
And in his fight, when he is going through the chapters of this legend, you very clearly realize this is the story of Deltarune, because they go through chapter 1, 2, and 3, and it's like, oh, this is what I've done. I get these references here. And then starts going into future ones, like, okay, so what's happening? It's something about, a burning field, and then it gets chapter 6. And then after, it was either chapter 6 or 7, he says, then it just stopped.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean it just stopped? Just, there's a couple ways that you could interpret this. It could be, all right, that is the point in time when Gerson Boom dies, and that his ability to know things past that point ceases. But this is supposedly a legend. This isn't him saying, these are the visions I, Gerson Boom, have seen. This is what is written and recorded by others, by some third party. It is unclear if this was a singular source or the historians of the world, but it wasn't him. So why did it stop? This could come into play of who was it that initially recorded this legend. And then the thing that I had this terrible fear of in the moment, which I'm gaslighting myself into not believing the terrible impulsive thing that came to mind, which was a world in which Toby Fox deliberately doesn't finish the game.
Bro, there's no fucking way.
Would he say, imagine from an artistic standpoint, he does every chapter until the last and says, you finish the story.
Bro, I'm gonna be so for real for you because of how big Deltarune is. I think if he were to do that, he would have to legitimately change his name. He would have to go into hiding because I think people would literally
go insane.
Him.
That it would be you think it was bad for Arthur Conan Doyle when he stopped Sherlock Holmes? The things that would happen, this is not just the things I would fear for Toby Fox if he were to do that.
Yes.
But at the same time, just that approach of saying, okay, I've written through here, and here are the assets. They are now open source. You write chapter 8, and every published chapter 8 is canon.
See, the way that I interpret him talking about that, I think was almost like a direct reference to Susie, of her being like, okay, well, what do you want to happen? I mean, he literally asked that too. What do you want to happen? You can create your own destiny. It doesn't have to be set in stone. It can be whatever. But also, I think he's talking to the player as well, saying, hey, you get to write this, how you play the game, how you do this is your reality. This is what you want it to be. That's how I interpret it, at least. But I do think that is interesting and also terrifying. I do not
think that is what he would do. I do not want that to be what he does. But in the moment, there was when Gerson said, it just stopped. Wait a minute. From what we've been told, I I think it was that Toby has said that he plans for it to be after chapter 4. It says the story is halfway over, and that it has been found in the source code that there are 10 chapters possibly, but that could have also just been a UI thing. I'm more likely to go based on the narration after chapter 4 of that being the halfway point, therefore 8.
See, but I thought it was, I think Toby Fox has said specifically that it's going to be 7 chapters. I think.
Okay. I might be losing track here. I will trust you more than myself on this.
To be fair, there's a lot of information out there and a lot to be interpreted. When I first saw like, the story's half over, I was like, we're gonna get 10 chapters. But then I believe that he had said that there's gonna be a total of 7, and I was like, oh man, I would have loved
it does
3
say
more chapters.
a total of 7 chapters. Okay, yes, I was very wrong there. Now I want to double check something.
I'm so curious.
Right. Yeah. Chapter 5. Just stopped. Does it say stopped? No. So where is... I need to find that dialogue of which chapter he said after which it just stopped.
Whoa. Actually, I could probably literally find the actual dialogue. There's this website that has all of the text from literally every single chapter compiled into one.
Ooh.
Like document. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, I actually just found something with the you
found it?
The thing, yeah. So it's
okay.
Chapter 1, The March of the Dark King. Obviously, the Dark King that we had there. Heroes defeating the king, stop the dragon. Chapter 2, The City of the Shining. The heroes do battle in chariots to save the queen. That was a fun one in terms of how they phrase that. Say, well, yes, those roller coaster carts were chariots against queen. Chapter 3, Isles of Northern Light, which is the game. Heroes travel to islands, catch a glimpse of a lost land. 4, Trials of the Holy Hammer, right here. Chapter 5, Field of Pink and Gold. What happens next? Who knows? There was only one more chapter. So chapter 6, and then after that, it all stopped. So there is no knowledge of chapter 7, of the last chapter. And it says that next book, it never did get written. That was the line that made me scared. The story became so grand, so overwhelming. Some say it swallowed up the author himself.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that line.
The ones who could write the next, the youth, the pen was lying there for them to pick up, to make the next page. They never did. But you, my dear, I see a story lit up in your eyes. And so, that was the sequence of just like, wait a minute, would Toby stop? And that's what made me think of him saying, all right, you write the last chapter.
That makes sense. And
like rereading it again, this fear is born anew in me. And I'm I agree with you. I do not think he would, because I think that it would just be total revolt. And I think that I don't think he would want to do that to the players. I think he would recognize the disappointment, and that for all of the pressure that he feels, most folks are very patient with Toby Fox. And, we're certainly fine with the amount of years it took between chapters 2 and the release of 3 and 4. I was frankly delighted when I saw that we were going to get 5 this year. I was fully prepared to wait another 2-3 years. I let the man cook.
Right, absolutely. Well, from what I heard, he was actually intending on releasing chapter 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, I did read that.
Delay 5. And so, I was preparing to wait years and years for the next chapter.
Do you have a favorite character or a favorite moment in the story?
I can't say. There are too many amazing moments. Yeah, I think the one that has stuck with me the most that I think about a lot is the moment in which Rouse is like collapsed on his knees and him saying like look, I'm smiling, everything is okay, and being able to tell him that like it's okay not to smile.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular theories of your own, whether they're ones that you have a lot of evidence for, ones that others have theorized that you like fully subscribe to, or even just, all right, this is a crazy theory, I don't have evidence, but I could see them doing this?
You know, all I'll say is that, you know, I was a fool at first and I was like, oh, okay, the knight is definitely Carol. The knight's not Carol. And then I was like, no, it's not Carol. And then I was like, oh, okay, Des is probably the knight. But now I'm signed up to the Rudy is the knight theory. And I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But there's a lot of evidence of it. And I think it's, I don't know, man. Rudy Knight theory would be so fascinating.
I haven't looked too much into the different theories. Like I said, I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to those. So I had to actually look up to remind myself who Rudy is. Rudy is Noelle's father.
Yes.
And that one, that has interesting implications because it does make for a good one of a semi-major character, relevant character who's just innocuous enough, just not important enough for you to necessarily suspect. But I can see the through lines of how that could be possible.
There's some really interesting videos about it. Like I highly recommend like you and anybody else who might be interested in it. Like there's a couple really good videos that talk about it, that kind of point some stuff out. Most especially like kind of like almost debunking that it could be Des as well. Like it's really, really fascinating and interesting. And before even watching the video, I was like, it's not Rudy. No, that's stupid. It's not Rudy. If anything, I think Rudy's like probably like resisting against this whole thing. But after watching that video, I was like, you know what? It might be Rudy.
I could see that. Part of me has also like, is it too obvious for it to be Chris? Is it just?
It can't be Chris, because Chris is in the same place at the same time as the knight.
But could it be, I guess, a fragmentation, perhaps, of Chris's soul?
I think if we go according to that, I think then it has to be Des.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because there's evidence in the files that Des is lost girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is interesting. It's very interesting. I think I want to know more about Chris. I want to know way more about Chris.
Yeah.
Because there's so much we don't know about Chris.
Now, there's one other big crackpot theory I have, which I don't think is the case, but just on paper, the absurdity of it all. The whole thing about Deltarune, and it even says it in the trailer, it's not just, Toby Fox made another game, and Toby Fox reused a lot of assets and a lot of musical references and the same town, that it is canonically a side story of some sort to Deltarune, to Undertale. That there is implied to be some active connection. I have not seen necessarily an active connection, that you see parallels out the wazoo, certainly, but nothing explicitly connecting it. So my thought is, if this is a side story of Undertale, and Undertale being a game that has many paths, many branches, that we say, okay, this is a path of Undertale that is not accessible via the Undertale game, but is a path of Undertale. And therefore, could the knight be Frisk?
Interesting.
That this is a path, this is a version of Undertale where something happened to Frisk, because Frisk is the main character, the central thread of all the possible chapters of Undertale. So is Frisk standing in front of us here?
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good question. There are too many questions.
Yeah. Like I said, I do not think that's the case, but that's, because wild theorizing is indeed possible. That's my wild theory.
That's fair. My wild theory... No, you know what? My wild theory, I'm doubling down. My wild theory is that the knight is Papyrus. I'm just kidding. I think that theory is ridiculous!
The knight is Sans.
Yeah!
I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do Sans. I think that Papyrus would be more likely than Sans.
Yeah, I love Papyrus. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's so great.
I'll definitely have lots to look forward to in the future with Deltarune for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing that I definitely want to talk about, because it's, I suppose, not the primary quote unquote of your content, but it's something that you do a lot, and that you did something of it from Undertale that you really enjoy singing, that you've done a good number of covers, and one that you did a very small cover of was Don't Forget, which is, I don't know if you would say it's the main theme of Undertale, but it's a very meaningful song. Sorry, Deltarune, rather. Meaningful song in Deltarune. And that, I'm curious, where does singing start for you?
It start for me, man, honestly, like I feel like it was because like I grew up and like my mom would go to church, and so I'd go with her and stuff like that, and we were kind of honestly forced to sing. But and so there was like, it started with that, but then like I got into choir and such like that, and so like kind of like and I think I have a fairly strong voice, so to have some confidence behind that, and for someone else to see that in me is like, oh, well, I'll have you sing this part, and being given guidance and stuff, I felt like kind of boosted my confidence. But then I feel like where I really got interested with it was when I got really into like YouTube and seeing other people like do covers and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I really like this song too. Oh my gosh, wait, I want to try. And so like, yeah, I think that's kind of like the best answer I have for it.
Are there any covers that you haven't done yet that are just on that list of, I know I want to cover this song, I just haven't found the time or occasion, or haven't gotten it to where I want it to be yet? Obviously, don't tell me if there's anything that's, like impending release, don't spoil it here, but something that sort of is on that list, perhaps.
Well, I've talked about it before, but I have several songs that are kind of like in the works right now that covers, and it's been in works for a while. Honestly, I've just kind of lacked a little bit of the confidence to officially record, even though one of them has a video already made and I already have the backing track and everything for it. And it's my cover of Cheerleader by Porter Robinson. I also have a Porter Robinson Get Your Wish cover that's been literally like the backing vocal, like the back track like was custom made and everything, and that's ready for me. So those ones especially, I need to really sit down and just do it, because those are some really, really important songs to me that I love, and I've even sang a couple of them with like a vocal coach to help like boost my confidence a bit. And also for me to learn how to like some techniques and stuff like that has helped me a ton actually in singing. Yeah, that for sure.
You could take one or two more, or just sit on those two since they're already asset-wise very prepared. Heck, just end up releasing a Porter Robinson cover EP.
Oh my god, that would be so fucking epic. God, I love Porter Robinson.
Sounds like you've already got a fair weight already, but you've also already got assets done. So it's not like, all right, now I'm having to put in necessarily the full time, effort, and expense for a full EP. But since you already have these singles that are just happening to be from the same person, you'll put in 2-3 more, 4 or 5 song EP or LP or, whatever term you want to use for it, but make it a mini album.
That'd be pretty cool. That's honestly a good idea. That's honestly a pretty dang good idea. And there's literally, I could cover so many of his songs because I love so many of them that it would not be hard to choose.
Do you think the reason that these first two, though, have taken a while, are they particularly challenging songs, or maybe it's just because you love them so much that you are...
It's not because I love them so much.
And whenever there's something that has that level of meaning, it's, whether it's a piece of art or music, I know, especially for myself and many, many others, that's when you hold yourself to the highest of high standards, sometimes unreasonably high standards. Sometimes it gets to the point where you yourself need to be like, okay, I need to let this be good enough, or almost force yourself to let it go out the door at a point.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. You nail it right on the head right there. That's exactly it. I want to do it justice, and I don't want to disappoint myself or others, and I want to make sure that it's great. And so I haven't been able to release it because I've recorded both. No. I've recorded Get Your Wish multiple times, but I've never been super satisfied with it. And I think the thing that makes it hard too is like every single time. So the one of the songs that I have, the first cover that I have on my channel is Idol by Osobi, and I recorded that probably about 5 or 6 times, and every single time I sat down and recorded it, I got better. I got better and better and better, and I got better and better and better at the lyrics. So I feel like if I just keep recording, right, then I'll get better. But then there's that fear, like, oh shit, but I could have been even better if I just would have, if I would have given it another try, I would have got it even better. And so I feel like, honestly, I just need to rely on my friends a little bit more and be like, hey, how does this sound, right? And then like ask my my musically talented friends and be like, hey, how can I improve this? So that way I can, because I feel like I wouldn't be a good judgment of if it's good enough. I feel like I would always be trying to make it even better. So I think I just need to rely on my musically talented friends and be like, hey, how can I make this better? And if they're just like, no, I think this sounds great, then I need to just do it.
I think that's a good strategy of recognizing at a certain point you can't be an objective judge, because not only are you going to be holding yourself to this high, potentially unreasonably high standard, but when you listen to something over and over and over and over again, and you know it, and you know exactly where there's even the slightest mistake, the slightest thing that you do not like, that it stands out like a sore thumb, no matter how much you might try to become a non-biased listener, it's just not realistic. So you bring in folks who, like you said, not just any friends at all, but ones whose opinions you specifically trust with regards to music and singing, and that you're going to trust them to say, oh, I think you could improve this, and if so, good. You then have something tangible and specific to go back and improve. And if they say, no, this is just solid, then that can be the third party assurance of, okay, I can let this go out the door.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I've recorded a couple of covers of my own, very casual ones as charity marathon rewards. And what has
that's
ensured
awesome.
that they go out the door is the fact that I always make sure that the previous year's charity rewards are all fulfilled by the next year. So I have a 1-year time limit. There's no extension from that for me. Technically nobody is holding a gun to my head and forcing me to do that. But for me, I am able to hold myself to that of just, no, I can't have another charity marathon and be, promising these new things if I haven't delivered on the previous ones. And so must be done by then.
Yeah, smart.
But even so, it's okay. Keep listening. In sometimes you really like it, and sometimes not. That one of the stories I've told is I was doing I'd put out a poll. Just all right. Here's 4 songs I would be comfortable covering, and I don't really have a particular vision for this one. And the one that was voted on was Big Iron. Just the classic Marty Robbins song. You hear it a lot in Fallout. Gura very iconically did a karaoke version of it. And I kept recording. I was like, I don't like how this sounds. It's such a simple song melodically, but you don't realize it until you try to recreate it, just how unique Marty Robbins' voice is. And so I was experimenting with a couple of different things and was getting closer, but boy, I didn't like it. But at the same time, I was starting to record Stayed Gone from Has Been Hotel because it had been stuck in my head for a little while, and that on voice mod, where'd it go? I'd found a lovely Alistair filter and was getting rather good with it. And had been recording that and just having a blast with it. And I was doing multiple takes, but from the start, I was like, oh, I like how this sounds. I like where this is. And now I'm just honing it in. But I could release it as is, and now I'm just getting it even better. That's fine. And I was doing recordings of Big Iron. It's just like, gosh, maybe I should just go back to Stay Gone, do a couple reps on that since I know I like where that is, and maybe it'll clear my head. And then this terrible light bulb went off in my head of, I said I would do a Big Iron cover. I said I would do a Big Iron cover. I said nothing else. I made no promises on any specifics. I just said a Big Iron cover. So I hit Control-N, new file in Audacity, put on the Alistair filter, and go through Big Iron. And then I play it back. And I re-record one half line. I missed one entry. I stumbled one entry, but re-recorded that one half line. Listened to it again, and exported the file. It was effectively one take. 1.5 takes done in under 30 minutes. And it was for having bashed my head against the wall for, at that point, close to, not daily for 2 weeks, but on and off, 4, 5, 6 days over the course of 2 weeks of different attempts at it. Getting better, certainly, but not liking it to just, oh, wait, what if I did, oh, that worked. Done.
Hell yeah. Sometimes I feel like we just need time to... True, yeah. That's so cool.
That's the fun of covers. Sometimes you find this offbeat solution.
Yeah. True. Absolutely. And listen, I'll always take it. Whenever it hits, I'll take it. Every once in a while, I'll just be inspired to I'm like, fuck it. I'll do this really quick, small, tiny little cover out of nowhere, right? And I feel like if the motivation hits, if the inspiration hits, you gotta grab that shit by the balls and just do it.
Yeah. Any particular instances of that for you? Just something's in your head and you get it, and that in a day, not necessarily in one take, but it works, it's there, or any cases where you had some sort of epiphany of, oh, this is why this cover isn't working. You change something and suddenly it works.
Not necessarily with singing, I would say, but I've definitely have had that sort of like just random hit of like, oh my god, I have to do this. I'll just do this right now and get it done in a day. When it comes to like art or whatnot, like
Mm.
there was a time where there was like this really funny clip of when Aimee and I were playing Pal World, and I just had the motivation and inspiration hit for how I wanted to draw this particular like scene that was happening. So I just dropped everything. I quickly edited the audio down into something that was like, exactly like I wanted in my head, and I just started drawing it immediately. And it was like I didn't put much effort into the art. I just made sure it looked how I wanted it to. It portrayed the idea I was going for. I put really 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 quick color on it and exported it and had it done within a few hours before I started doubting myself wanting to make it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned drawing, and I'm actually bring up a couple that you had sent me. And for art, is that something that you grew up being really interested in? Was that something, most kids had art class in elementary school, middle school, something like that? Was that always an area of interest for you, or was it something that you became more interested later on?
It was something that I was always interested in, and something I always liked. I didn't have like I don't know, anything notable in terms of like art class or anything like that. It was just something that I always found really fun, and like creating my own characters and creating my own little comics and stuff like that. I just always loved being able to tell stories through my art, and I just love it.
I didn't know that you'd done comics, actually.
Yeah, like when I was younger, I did like little comics about like my characters that I'd made up. And I would I used to be in dance class, and so I would, when I was finished with like an issue of my comic, I would bring it to dance class with me, and I would show a few of like my friends there, and I would read it to them and have them learn about my characters and what shenanigans they were up to.
That's how you get a hostage audience for your OCs.
Exactly. It was awesome.
What were the stories about?
Oh man. A couple of them were like about like other franchises, but like my own take on it. Like for example, like I was really into Winx Club. I don't know if you've ever seen that or heard of
It
that.
was not a show that I watched. I was very much not in the target demographic, but I am very familiar with
There.
Winx Club.
Yeah, so I took like Winx Club, and I basically had it to where it was basically a similar story, but they were my characters, and so they were different. And I told little stories that were kind of a collaboration of like Powerpuff Girls plus like Winx Club plus like I don't know, like other stuff that I had seen that I liked, and then yeah, just told my own stories and made up a few new ones along with these characters.
Yeah, that's just. I feel like that's part of being a kid and being like a fan of something. Whether, like, I mentally did that with various series growing up. Whether Pokemon was certainly among them, but to actually go through with it and physically create something is something that takes that extra level of effort.
I feel like for me at least, I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like I had to get it somewhere. Like once I get that just like that urge, I just have to do it. Like I can't let this exist only in my mind, because inevitably, your brain can only hold so much information, so you're going to forget things, and so I want to make sure that it can exist in a physical way.
What did you use as the medium? Was this something that you were doodling in like a lined journal, or did you get like nice paper? Did you end up actually ever buying these or having them in a book? Was it printed out?
For that story, I ended up just like asking my mom for like printer paper, so just like white plain paper, and then I would have that, and I would draw on both sides of the paper, and I would just create little comic things. And by that I mean I just like wrote random rectangles that were not straight at all. And just, filled up every little corner of the page that I possibly could. I actually still own them.
You still have them.
Yeah, I do, and they're in interesting condition. They're very wrinkly.
I can only imagine. I mean, the fact that you still have them at all is very impressive.
Yeah, I don't like letting go of things like artistically. Like, I don't know, like I feel like over the years, like I had to, right? There was only so much stuff.
Yeah.
So I would literally I would sit in the middle of my room and I would take out like just piles and piles of papers and I would go through them and say, okay, like, does this drawing mean anything to me? And if the answer was no, I'd get rid of it. But if the answer was yes, because I like the design, or yes, because this is my favorite character, yes, because this is a fun story that I like, which was most of them, then I would keep it. So I have
So that's good. That
big archives of it.
But that you had the active evaluation. It's not full on hoarding mentality of, oh, I can't let anything go ever. That it is still, okay, Marie Kondo method, does this spark joy? Is there a reason for me to keep this?
Yes.
Is there something about this piece that I like? And that if you were able to find actively something about a lot of your pieces that you like, so be it. And at the very least, pieces of paper, even if there's a box of them, that finding storage space for a box somewhere isn't going to be unreasonable or unwieldy.
Hey.
Unless you're working with literally thousands of pieces, which I don't imagine you are.
Right. And even then, like, I'll go through them nowadays, like, every once in a while. I feel like every, couple years or so, I'll go through them again. I'll be like, okay, does this still spark joy? Because the thing is like, you can only hold on to so much stuff. The same thing goes for, like, manga for me. Like, I have a lot of manga, and I've collected a lot of manga over the years. But there are very few that I've kept, the series of. Like, for example, there are a few that I will never let go. Like, Negima. I fucking love Negima. Negima, that entire book series is always going to be with me. I fucking love that shit. But there's a lot of others that don't spark the same joy for me. So whatever, I have a rule for myself. If I ever want to buy a new manga series, I have to donate another one. So I'll go through all of my books and say, okay, do I want to keep this? Why? Will I read this in the future within the next 5 years? Does this motivate me or inspire me? And will it have some sort of impact within the next 5 years? And if the answer is no, then I say, okay, it gets to go to a new home, and I donate it, and then I get to buy another series.
Yeah, that's a really good way to approach it. And for collections in general, of when you get to a point and say, okay, I have a lot, and now it's going to be a one-in, one-out situation of, if I'm going to get something new, something else has to go. And that you then evaluate what is among this collection, the one, maybe I still like everything. Maybe there isn't anything I dislike, but what's the one I like the least here? And is the thing that would be coming in something I would like more?
Yeah, and I had to kind of do a little bit of that too when I was because I did a big move kind of recently, and I also needed to sell some of my cards to afford the move as well. And so I had to go through my personal collection of my Pokemon cards, and there are a lot of them that were really cute, but I had to sit down and say, okay, listen, man. I can't just keep every single one.
$30 cute? Is this,
Right.
This card is 30 cents and is also really cute.
Right. And see, the thing is I'll keep the cards that are 30 cents and cute, right? As long as I don't have too many of them. It's okay, can it fit in this binder? Yes. Okay, it's 30 cents, it's cute. Okay, I can keep it. That's fine. But if it's a $30 card and it's oh yeah, I pulled this,
I can look at the art online.
Exactly. So I'm okay, you know what? Someone else will appreciate this more. I have to sell it. But if it's a gift from a friend or something like that, or a community member,
that's different connotation entirely.
Well. Yeah. I even had a friend who gifted me a really cool card, and they're oh, you can sell it if you need the money for it. And I said, what the No, this is a special important to me now. No, absolutely not. I am not selling this card. No, this is now going to be something special and important to me forever. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And that
There's certain things I can't let.
have you digitized your art of, or ever even consider that possibly even just as sort of a safety precaution of, in case things get lost during a move or, water damage happens or something accidental that way. Obviously, I'm not suggesting you scan the art and then throw away the physicals. Definitely not. But,
oh God, no, definitely not.
Scan them just to make sure that you have that in the event that something were to happen to the physicals.
I do all the like important little stories and drawings that I've liked the most. I have digitized like all of them. So yes, and I usually have them in like 2 backups as well.
Oh, going the extra mile there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because those are the ones that mean the most to me. So if anything were to happen to like if one drive were to like die or something like that, I have a backup one just in case.
You mentioned you have a lot of manga. You'd also told me that you recently finished My Hero Academia. I'm curious if that's one that you have the manga of, or if that's one that you just had as the anime.
Oh, yeah. I recently started watching the anime. I haven't read any of the manga.
Ah, okay.
But I'm not quite finished with it yet. I'm about like halfway through. I'm like season 4, I think. Halfway through season 4? Or maybe I'm in season 5 now. Crap, I can't remember.
Somewhere in there. But I still have to watch the final season. But
I hear
you have
really
a lot to look forward to. It's one that I hold up and say, this one deserves the hype. It does.
It really does. It does deserve the hype. Like, what the fuck? It's so well written. The characters are so good. Like, what the fuck?
It's one of those of just, it's almost begrudgingly good. And I know not everyone loves it. Some people don't like it. But for me, it was just like, there is nothing inherently new that My Hero Academia does with its story or its characters or its world. Sure. But it executes on its tropes at a consistently high level, above and beyond. Like, hot take, I think on the average, My Hero Academia performs higher on superhero tropes than Marvel.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think you're right. And the thing is, too, is it gives, like, sure, they have the main characters, but it really gives, like, so many people, like, equal screen time. Like, there's so many fucking characters, and I love all of them. And I know so much about them. Yes, I remember them. That's crazy. Like, it's hard for series to do that when there's just like 5 characters. But they literally have so many characters, and I know and remember all of them, and I love them. It's amazing.
It is very much a complete package. I've not finished the last season, and I know that some folks didn't care for the ending. I also generally believe that nowadays very few endings are going to be liked, even fewer universally, that especially for long-running ones, that it's so difficult to nail a landing, and it's also so difficult to fight the expectations that a lot of folks have.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, Donut Bro in the chat mentions some people were upset with the ending of AOT. I think AOT couldn't have ended any other way. I think, but that's an entirely different discussion. But yeah, My Hero Academia, really, really good, just solid all around. I'm very excited for you to be able to go through that, and that's one for me that I need to actually get around to finishing as well.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for you to finish it. I obviously haven't seen the last season yet, but I've heard really, really good things about it from people that I know who have watched, and so I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. You're in for a treat.
One that you did finish recently, though, was Breaking Bad. So, taking a very sharp turn away from anime and, I suppose this type of weeby nerdery to something that's a bit more mainstream.
True.
Like, what about Breaking Bad really drew you in? Because it does a lot of things well. It executes at a very high level. But I'm curious, for you, what really clicked?
Man, like, I don't even know. Like, it's so good. Like, I think it's just the pacing, I think, was really good. And, like, just the characters are also interesting. There was a lot of toxic yaoi between Walt and Jesse. They never kissed, but they should have kissed. Um, they just, I don't know, like, it was so interesting, and like I feel like it kept building, and like there's a certain point usually in a series where you're like, okay, well, it can't possibly get worse than this, or it can't possibly be more chaotic, it can't possibly be more crazy, it can't possibly be more goofy than this, right? But then it is, and I'm just like, okay, so then it keeps like looping me back in, like every single time I'm just like, all right, well, then the ending has to be in sight soon, right? It's like, nope, we're going this way. Oh, we're continuing on the highway. We're not taking this exit. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And the fact that like the ending, like I won't spoil anything, even though I know it's a bajillion years old. But like,
I think it's
like,
past the statute of limitations on spoilers there.
That's fair. But I don't even need to spoil anything, because literally my thoughts on it are like, they did something that a lot of series don't do. And it's like, okay, what if this guy just didn't get better? What if this guy just continued to kind of like be him? He didn't have an arc where he learned his lesson, right? He continued to be the stubborn fucking asshole that he is. In fact, you know, he might even get a little bit worse in some ways, and then he wrote it until the very end. And there's so many series where I watch it and just like, I'm like, but man, I wonder what would have happened if they would have, they would have kept doing that. I wonder what would have happened.
We don't need a redemption arc every time.
No, we really don't. And it's so much better that there wasn't that. And honestly, some of the characters are so fucking annoying. Like, I don't really believe this is just like in the fictional state, but like they don't deserve like the characters to have that redemption arc and for their lives to be like happy go lucky. Like they did some fucked up shit too. And I think that the way it turned out was the way it should have turned out. And I'm glad that we got that ending. Like I was very, very satisfied. But justice for Jesse Pinkman, he actually didn't deserve all that shit.
No, Jesse's crimes were ones of ignorance, stupidity, and passion. Jesse Pinkman is not a bad person. He's an idiot, but he's not a bad person.
And the thing is like, oh my god, he is a fucking idiot. And like, the thing is like, I feel like he repaid those in full so long ago. So long ago. And the fact that like he had to deal with all the shit that he did, and like I can't believe Walt told him about his girlfriend. Like, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I can't believe he actually told him that. Like that, oh bro, that pissed me off. I was like, how dare you tell him that? Like, that's so fucked, dude. Jesse Pinkman did not deserve that. He did not deserve that. He got tortured. Like, come on, man.
So my relationship with Breaking Bad is very interesting. I watched the first season or so with friends and kind of bounced off it. That I don't think it's a hot take to say the pacing of season 1 is probably the weakest of the series. It got exponentially better for them.
Yeah, it was very, very, very different.
And then I started to get back into it a bit as the later seasons came out. And Bryan Cranston as Walter White is a lifetime performance. It is iconic for a reason. He deserved all the awards that he got. It's so good. The other characters, very strong. I think Gus Fring is one of the coolest characters written, and it launched Giancarlo Esposito's career into the stratosphere to the point where Hollywood keeps casting him as Gus Fring, and I almost worry that the man is being pigeonholed too much. Because he's always the villain, and it's always just, be Gus Fring. And it's like, this man could do more. He's a legitimately good actor, and yes, he makes a great villain. And if you're looking for a villain, yeah, you're not going to go wrong with Giancarlo Esposito, but his... I almost am at the point where I feel like he's overused for it. I want to see him get more diverse roles. But hey, character actors make a living, so still good. But
true.
The thing I kept running into was, I've seen this story before. I've read this story before. Yeah, I know this story, and I know exactly how it ends. And it's a story that is very popular in certain regions, but it gained significant, I would say it gained significant popularity in the US, but it didn't reach mainstream popularity because the medium in which it was produced is one that, by and large, U.S. North American culture kind of looks down its nose at and doesn't give the time of day as much. And I had the realization of, it's that story presented for an American audience. Breaking Bad is just American Death Note. It is the anti-hero story, born of good intention, that seen through to the end, all the way up to the last shot. The way in which the series ends. Across the board. The betrayals, the cat and mouse game.
You're right. You're so fucking right.
Like, obviously not a one-to-one. Walter White never saw himself as a god. There's certain differences there. But the broad structure and beats, the ego, the cat and mouse, and the fully realized anti-hero story that, like we were saying, doesn't get told enough.
Yes.
It's Death Note. It's Death Note.
You're so fucking right. Holy shit. Yeah. That's amazing. And I fucking love Death Note too.
Yeah, and this is not to discount the things that Breaking Bad did. It does everything so well, and goodness knows, like you're saying, we need more good anti-hero stories. I am not upset, but I had the realization of, I felt Death Note deserved more success in the West, and I think it's simply because by and large, Western culture considers animation juvenile.
Yeah.
And we've gotten certainly a lot better over the past 15 years, but even for how far we've come, live action commands more respect, plain and simple. And that I think there were ways to do a live action Death Note. We're not going to get into the rambles of the ones that we have. That's a different story. But that it was a story that, to get Western audiences, needed to be live action, and Vince Gilligan did it.
True. Bravo, Vince.
I haven't seen his new series, but I know a lot of people have been enjoying it.
Oh, you gotta watch Pluribus. You have to watch it. It's so good.
Give me a one-liner. Like, I don't even know what Pluribus is about. I just know it's Gilligan's next thing.
Okay. Okay. They use like this one line, and I'll try and remember it to explain it. Imagine a person who's the most insufferable, annoying person trapped on a world where everyone else is fucking happy and is like having a go-lucky awesome time all the time. That's the show. It's awesome.
Sorry, I'm thinking through this and it's like, okay, I see where that goes. That's interesting. Because also I was trying to create a silly analogy of like, okay, so it's Birdly, and where have we put Birdly?
Oh my fucking god. Hopefully in the trash. We've put Birdly in the fucking trash.
Like, we put Birdly in Hello Kitty. That's where it is.
Oh my god, yeah, that's yeah, pretty much. That's a good example. We put Birdly into Hello Kitty's universe, and then you have to live with that. That's a good. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but
of course,
that's the best way to describe it without any spoilers.
This is me minimizing things. But yeah, I definitely need to see that. Another one, just we live in such a great era of media as a whole. There's too much like awesome stuff out there. Too many good stories, video games, movies, anime, books, you name it. And everyone has their list. And for everything that you cross off your list, 5 more things get added.
True.
There's just too many things. And one that has been on my list for a while that you hold up as basically, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about this game. I need to get around to it. I know I do. And like, so I even mentioned this when we spoke earlier in the week. It was like, I'm going to need you to geek out on this in a contained way because we're going to be dancing around spoilers the whole time. But I need you to help me get off my ass and finally play Outer Wilds.
Yes. Oh my god, please. You have to play Outer Wilds, bro. It's so good.
Like, I hear people say that it is like a life-changing game of just that it is something that similar to Deltarune that people just think about.
Yes. Yes. It is something that it is a game that you will never not think about. Like you will think about it for the rest of your life.
I'm almost scared to play the game because I believe everything I've heard. It's not even that I think that it's gonna underperform, that it's been overhyped. No, I think that I like to think I'm pretty good about approaching media, and even if it's been hyped up, approaching with realistic expectations. But even having avoided spoilers based on the singular, broad subject matter that I know that it involves, I can extrapolate from there the themes that it will touch on. And it's like, oh, this is gonna make me feel things.
Yeah. And see, when I was told that I would feel things, and throughout my experience, I was like, there's no way I'm going to feel things, right? Like, I felt like, no, I'm not that attached to, like, these characters I got to know. But then I got to the end and tears were streaming down my face. And then for weeks, every single time I would hear certain songs, tears would stream down my face. Like, it really is just that good.
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Oh my god. No, it's like
but that fear is the highest compliment I can give.
You're so fair. It's so fair. Like, it is an experience that is so unique, and honestly, like, I feel like every person who ever plays it should either play with an audience, whether it's friends, family, or with a simulated audience of, like, recording yourself playing it, so that you can either look back on it or even, like, I don't know, edit it down. Because the thing is that, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but, like, with Outer Wilds, it's the game that you could only play once. It's the game where people wish that they could wipe their entire memory of the game. Yeah, and so, like being able to, like, really foster that, or at least if you don't do it with someone else, or you don't do it with an audience, making sure to take your time and really just like enjoy it, I think is so important, because it will only be a matter of time before you're obsessed with it and thinking about it like every hour of the day. Like, for example, my good friend Shindigs finally picked up the game after. Yeah, we do love Shin. We do. We'd been bugging, me and several of my friends had been bugging him to play it, and he finally picked it up sometime, it was like a couple of years ago, and he got so hooked on it, he would go to bed thinking about it, and he would get up out of bed and play it for a few hours because he couldn't stop thinking about it and how good it was. And then he would go to bed, but he would just be thinking about it, like, it's just that good.
So I've heard that streaming is very dangerous with it, because unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that can't not post spoilers.
True, but I will say, and I apologize if I'm interrupting you
no, please.
Too often. I think, because I actually just watched someone play, because there's DLC as well. I actually watched somebody, a supercut of them playing the DLC. I'm going to tell you the exact perfect experience on playing Outer Wilds, because the thing is like I said, it's the kind of game you can only play once. So the entire community is kind of obsessed with watching other people play it. I think the best way to do it is stream it but you don't look at chat ever. Don't ever look at chat. Have chat
have it completely
closed.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, completely fucking gone. And just play it. Maybe have chat on screen so you can go back and see what people were saying, and the viewers can go back and see what was being said while you're playing it, right? But just put it out there into the world, but don't that, or do what I did with say for example with Shindigs. He streamed the DLC on Twitch, and me and a couple other friends were the honorary Outer Wilds mods. So we were there every single minute he was playing it,
sniping anything that gets posted.
Exactly. Anything that was was a spoiler, we'd be there to go boop and get rid of it. But I will say a majority of the community is incredibly respectful because they know you can only play it once. So you might be okay, but at least having either someone there to help,
I would need
or
a
just
dedicated mod, because I don't have a mod team. I have Seribot, and Seribot is amazing, and also just released a new update where it'll even do clips. We love Seribot.
Cool.
I have a couple folks that have mod permissions, but nobody that is a constant mod here. I would probably make a point to ask a friend who I know has played the game to be the dedicated mod there and to be that dedicated sniper. I don't play games on stream much because this is a talk show channel. The only times I do are if they are for charity reward streams, and that I have basically one game stream a year, and it's usually I sit down and I play through something. I know Outer Wilds is too long for a single stream.
Yes.
I have not committed to a specific game for this year's charity game stream. The working concept is one playthrough of Dispatch, but again, that's not locked in. I've tinkered around with doing something for Slay the Spire 2 when that comes out, because I fell into that, and I know you did too. I'll pivot to that in a minute. But I wonder, another concept that I literally just thought of as we've been talking is if I can figure out a place without being spoiled, that someone can tell me, if you play until this point off stream, that from here to the end is within 6 hours. Because they aren't short streams. I only do this once a year, but I make sure that they're good, hefty streams. And that I play the finale of Outer Wilds, or perhaps the DLC on stream. Still, like you said, chat away or with a trusted mod sniper for anything there. But now I'm sort of floating that in my head as a potential option.
So I will say, if you want to do the DLC, I think the DLC is I don't think you could do it in one stream, probably 2. But there's never going to be a point in which you can just pick up the base game and be like, okay, now from this point, I will stream it. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because the game rewards curiosity. And so the experience that everyone else gets and that you'll get from it is the experience.
Okay. Because the only thing I know about Outer Wilds is it is a time loop wherein you are trying to stop the sun from exploding. I know nothing else. I don't know any of the puzzles. I don't know any of the story, any of the specifics. And so I can, with that bare bones knowledge, understand what you were saying of there isn't necessarily a level of progress or iteration in the way the game is written that ensures that you are at a, quote unquote, progression point to know that you are a certain time from the ending. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna play this game, and I think part of it also
is
you
better.
I think I also need to be in the right mindset for it. I need to be ready for the pain.
True, but also the perfect time to play Outer Wilds is any time. It just might be what you need most.
And again, that's what scares me. But I am like, I think the first step is I'm going to like go and see after stream and buy it. So it's going to be in my library taunting me. I had initially thought I had it. And I realized after a while it was actually, because I thought I had gotten it on Epic Games because it had been free at one point. And then I went back and realized, oh no, that was Outer,
Worlds.
That was Outer Worlds. It was Outer Worlds. The other Outer W game was like, that's what I saw for free that week. So I don't have Wilds. I need to get Wilds here. Okay. And so maybe having it taunt me, because I do pretty good about not actually having a big Steam backlog. So having something there taunting me is different.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
But I know also you actually have an appointment in just a little bit. So,
I do.
And it's for speaking of charity event.
Yeah! It is. Here tomorrow morning. Actually, roughly in here in less than 12 hours. There is going to be a charity event going on. And it's called Pico Park for Hope. It is a Pico Park tournament. And it is for the charity Hope for the Day. And I'm the team leader of our team, which is called Team Starbound Hope, and we're gonna try and heckin' win. The goal is for us to collectively raise $1,000, and if you guys donate to the charity, then there'll be like certain like things that'll negatively affect like things that we'll do at the game, and so it'll be really chaotic and really fun, and you guys should check it out.
Yeah. And that's going to be with Mino Mineko, Banana Vtuber, and Civil Fortissimo, who I actually... gosh, we didn't even talk about VTRP at all. Because I feel like that's part of what finally got it as well, and sort of made me think. It was like, okay, I should reach out to Ai again. That Civil was in VTRP, and that I was on her 5th anniversary stream a week or so ago. So it was funny seeing her on the team with you. So tell her I say hi, because I know that you are all about to do a practice session, which is why we're going to be wrapping up. But I have my 2 last questions that I ask all my guests. One is, do you have any goals for 2026? That we're still here, it's a little bit before March, so a lot of the year is left. And whether that's a numbers-based goal, a project-based goal, or anything broad specific, is there something that you're hoping to accomplish before the year is out?
Yes, before the year is out, I would like to perform an original song, sing live in 3D on stream. Not pre-recorded, but literally live, and be in 3D and sing an original song. Yes.
Very ambitious goal, but I guess the ambitiousness there is in the technology, that you have the ability to perform a song live on stream today, right now. That it is not a thing of, physicality or talent or ability or drive. It is the challenge of getting all of the technology surrounding it stood up so you can have, you can make it this big grand event. So I am very excited to hear that, and I hope that you're going to be able to get that done. And I definitely think that you have the means, the drive, and the time to do so.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll do my best.
And the last question I ask all my guests is, what does being a VTuber mean to you? And that's not what is the definition of a VTuber, but different people get different things from VTubing, and different people approach VTubing in different ways. Some folks have this very personal, almost intimate relationship with VTubing. Folks have said, lets me get in touch with my inner child, lets me be someone who I can't be, it lets me get in touch with a part of myself that I wasn't able to explore before. Others have a more clinical approach of, I'm an entertainer, and I feel that this model lets me do entertaining things that I could never do as an IRL streamer, and that it lets me be creative in that sense. But I like my model. I might not have a emotional connection to it in that very deep sense, but I love it for what it enables in me. And there's things beyond that in between. There's combinations. There's no singular way to be a VTuber. But for you, Aishii Ai, what does being a VTuber mean to you?
What being a VTuber means to me is I get to give other people like a distraction from the everyday. And like I think it's important to, be aware of things that are going on around you and always try to be a better version of yourself every day. But also, we need things that like make us smile and laugh and not think about those everyday things. We all need it. We have to have it. And I want to be that for other people because I love to entertain, specifically as a VTuber, to be an anime character and to entertain and make people smile and laugh and like be happy is something that I fucking love. And it's something that I guess 6 years ago now, 6 years ago, I didn't know was possible, but God, it is something that I absolutely fucking love to do. And being a VTuber to me is being able to brighten people's lives and day in a way that makes me feel most confident and happiest. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I always ask the question at the end of the show because it helps put a bow on things, but also the answers always make sense, even just based on the conversations that we had. And this has been so much fun, and I cannot thank you enough for taking time out. Do give my apologies to the others on the team since we're probably going to be, a minute or two late, because I do actually have one last little question, and that's who would you like us to raid?
Ooh, let's see. Who's on? Are you raiding on YouTube and on Twitch?
I always forget how to raid on YouTube. If you can remind me how to do that, this would be my first YouTube raid.
Oh my gosh, I'll so help you because the person I would love you to raid is, I believe, live on both platforms.
Okay, by all means. And also, while we get all that set up, thank you everybody who's been here, everyone who's followed. It was Telzate, Spieler, Raphael, and I only follow peeps under 5 feet. And this microphone is under 5 feet, so that is legitimate.
True. I was thinking that too. I was just like, well, you are.
It's like, well, of all the folks that isn't going to take offense at, being called short,
right.
What's the line from Plankton? I can deny it no longer. I am small.
I love that line.
So who are we rating? And I know obviously how to do that here on Twitch, but I'll have you hold my hand a bit as we get through YouTube.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I would love for us to raid Phoebe. I love Phoebe.
Wait, is this like... Okay, just Phoebe. Oh, no.
Yeah, Phoebe.
Phoebe was like episode 5.
That's right.
Like, Phoebe, we go way back. I've had the joy of meeting Phoebe in person. She is a amazing person inside and out. I am so happy for her. She's been doing amazing things. She was on Nimmy Nightmare's anniversary concert earlier tonight.
That's right.
So I'm actually surprised that she's still live. I expected that she was going to pass out.
Yup, she's still live. She's a little Energizer bunny. I love her. She's a really good friend of mine, and I love her so much.
Fantastic choice. We are absolutely going to be rating Phoebe. Be sure to let her know, folks in chat, that I sent you all, this being AI, not me. Because gosh, we didn't even get into how difficult that must be, because at least for you it works. But
oh my God.
And the amount of puns that you get to make with that. So
True.
I've got that set here on Twitch. How do we do that on the YouTube side?
Okay. Chat.
I'm a professional streamer. I absolutely should have done this and known how to do this beforehand.
It's okay. I'm teaching you. And here, chat. You'll get to learn too. Okay. Also, thank you, Archibald. So you're gonna go to your YouTube, into your YouTube studio, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna go to where it says title. You're gonna hit edit. So you're gonna edit the live stream, basically.
Okay.
And then you go to customization. There's details, customization, monetization.
Customization, there we are.
Yep. Then you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to go to redirect, and you're going to click add.
Eh? I'm on customization. I'm not seeing redirect here.
Well, can you see slow mode? Like message delay, slow mode?
Yes.
Okay, and there's not redirect under that.
No.
Okay, that might be a setting that's locked. Well, fuck. Okay, well, we can't rate on YouTube.
Well, I guess
but
we can't today.
Tried!
Well, that's my own damn fault. Well, and now I have a little something that I'll need to do afterwards to figure that out. But we will get that done. But we're going to raid over on Twitch. So, folks, be sure to say hi to Phoebe for us. And I, again, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. I hope the charity event goes amazing tomorrow. Have fun with the practice session. And I definitely hope to see you around.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. And have a wonderful rest of your evening. You and everybody watching.
All right, so this has been episode 182 of VTuber Talk. Obviously, if you are not already following Ai, please correct that. Do yourself a favor. But she can be found in all different places. And you can follow me here on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, and YouTube. And I can't promise an exact schedule, but keep in touch. And I do actually have another show later this weekend. I never announce it on stream because every time I announce the next show on stream, something happens and it needs to be rescheduled. I'm not jinxing it this time. Not again. So keep an eye on socials and you'll see that posted tomorrow morning.
Heck yeah.
That's going to do it for us here. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye,